Hello, hello, and welcome everyone. Hi, Born MC. Hi, S. Hi, 8 8. Hi, CatCat108. Hi, Abinesh. Uh, yeah, I think I got everyone. Yeah, CatCat, you say you're going to sleep, but don't you could say hi. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for dropping by. Uh, let's see what else on the chat. Yeah, it is a Brawlhalla stream. So this time, well, just like last time, actually, I won't be speaking that much because, yeah, it's uh, just watching the Brawlhalla Championship. Hi, Abhinash. And yeah, I see it's the bedtime for everyone. Yep, no worries at all. Hi, Jasmania. How are you doing? How is everyone doing actually on the chat? Hi, is everyone? Hi, Arthur James. Hi, it's JVP. How are you doing? I am doing good, thanks. Yeah, this one, so this stream is out of the usual time frame because, yeah, it is a Brawlhalla Summer Championship event. But I will be streaming at the usual time or in a couple of hours, yeah. Once, yeah, after this one, this shouldn't take, well, actually, it should be a few hours, but then I'll be streaming in the usual time, yeah, when most of you are getting up, I guess. It's starting soon, starting in less than 2 minutes. How was everyone's weekend? Yeah, just Minya, you asked, are you going to stream again later? Yeah, I'm going to stream again later. Yeah. Not sure what I'll be playing, but yeah, I'll be playing at the normal time. Yeah. And Arthur, you say you check in for half an hour and get back to bed and tune in for the gameplay stream. Yeah, no worries at all. Hi, did you win? How are you doing? Hi, Abhinesh. Yeah, for me as well, Arthur, this weekend spending time with the family, that's same for me. And yeah, Bon, you say you're going to be looking up to your phone die, so that sounds quite tragic. And away we go. Is this Florida as well? I think it was in Florida last time, if I recall correctly. Uh, 10 years long.
And welcome everybody to the Summer Championship Doubles, first tournament of the Doubles weekend. We're starting off in Southeast Asia. That is right, Southeast Asia, SEA, baby. It's me, Sparky878. Joining me here on the desk is Skiff. He had a great time on the side stream last weekend, and we together are going to have a great time on the side stream this weekend as well here, bringing you all this SEA and other region action. Skiff, how you feeling this morning?
Hey, I'm feeling good.
Sparky.
I was actually a little bit worried when we had this block because initially I don't wake up till like 2 p.m. But I felt really tired last night and I capitalized on it and I woke up here like ready to rock. So if you're feeling tired, you need to reset your sleep schedule. Just go to sleep. It's that easy. It's that simple. But yeah, no, I'm very excited.
Yeah, if you're sleepy, just go to sleep. I guess that's the advice. And did he say he wakes up at 2 p.m.?
Today, I'm very happy, very excited for it. But yeah, it should be a really good time.
Before we get into this actual bracket and these games going, we want to talk about BCX just a little bit. That was the trailer you saw right before you heard us start to talk. Tickets are absolutely still available, of course. Looking on your screen right now, it's going to be November 21st through the 23rd in sunny Atlanta, Georgia. You can see those ticket prices, man. Still, we were talking about it last weekend. I'm going to talk about it again this weekend. Unbelievable. Dollar for dollar, best value you can have in a single weekend anywhere on earth. For that price right there. Look at that. Just if you're just going to be a spectator, $15. You can't even go to the movies for that anymore these days. And of course, you need to be looking at that VIP access as well. $80 there, and you get lots of stuff. You can see all of the prizes and rewards you'll be receiving, in addition to all the fantastic memories you'll be making alongside the friends that you've made playing Brawlhalla.
No, seriously, $15 is ridiculous to go and experience one of my favorite events every year. The vibes are immaculate. There's just a lot of cool things to be checking out. But even just $55 for competing is crazy. That's a crazy deal, especially for just like today's environment. Like you go to any like fighting game tournament, you're spending a lot more to be able to compete.
After you see $80, you can get a AAA game. Yeah. And that's an expensive AAA game too, right? Because
into this bracket. If you are on Twitch, you can type !bracket.
Quite a number of those games are actually less than $80.
/Brawlhalla and find past, current, and future events that are happening there. Currently, I am on tab number 5 on the upper side of the bracket and tab number 7 on the bottom side of the bracket. We're going to be starting off with Phronix and Tax Evasion against Vortex and Keith the Poo Poo here.
Yeah, it should be really exciting here. As I mentioned before, big Keith fan. I remember when we weren't allowed to say the poo-poo part, so how times have changed. But yeah, no, I'm always watching SEA. They're always a lot of fun. They bring a good energy. They kind of go for some really silly stuff every once in a while, so it's always going to be an exciting match. Like I mentioned, I'm a big Keith fan. Love watching what he's going to be able to bring to the table here. But watching him and Vortex do their thing, I mean, I know that they are the second seed of this bracket, but like...
Chat Yuri asked about emotes. I hope next week. I hope.
These two players are both very good in the doubles environment, so we're going to see exactly how this all comes together here as we get started. Getting into our map bans, I'm not really sure where these guys feel like they'd want to start. I wouldn't be surprised if we go to Demon Island, but I expect like small Fortress of Lions, to be honest.
Yeah, it feels like based on the speed of their banning so far, it's like there are maps that they don't want to play. They don't know exactly what they want to play either. They just like know what they don't want to play.
Hi Shiva, how are you doing?
They took out Mos Eisley Spaceport, and then they've just been kind of like slowly crawling.
I'm Nameless BA, how are you doing?
Air Temple here, but I'm a little bit curious why Phronix and Tax Evasion are first seed going into this one. When Spring Championship doubles, they got second to keep.
Shiva, you say you just woke up. Perfect timing then.
We'll see what the legends there know about the seeding as we get into this one on Western Air Temple. Extremely meta teams coming out. We're seeing Wu Shang.
Hi, Draw29, how are you doing?
And then from Keith and Vortex, we're seeing Taros and Kaya, the classic.
And as we see everything kind of get going here right now, I mean, again, always in these early games, so you're always going to see a lot of jockeying for position, a little bit of that chaos element, right? People like to get into like the scrap, trying to get something going here. But as we can see right now, we got Keith on the offensive, trying to get this Patrick Starr into the equation here. Stops there. It's actually like basically 2 in a row that he's kind of landed. Hasn't been able to take a stock yet, but as you can see, Pro Tax Evasion, they are struggling here just a little bit. We already got 1 stock down as Phronix way in that red, 213 to be exact.
So nice sidelight Nair. The Nair grabs 2 people, but the Tax Evasion comes in and he hits the recovery, taking out his own teammate on that. A major misplay. There's plenty of time to react to that after Phronix ended up getting the neutral air on 2 members of the blue team. So that's definitely an unfortunate start here early on. Not super early on, but about a minute into this game from Tax Evasion.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a bit of a tough one here. But again, this is kind of the early pace that I expect.
And nameless, you say you missed the Wuchang stream, but yeah, no worries, the on-demand video has been uploaded as well. So you can watch it in 1440p.
Falling apart in front of our eyes, Skip. Now this is just game 1, and you know how game 1s can go. The end result can be completely 180 degrees in the other direction from what we see in game 1. Game 1 so far, it's 4 stocks to 2. They at least get the full team wipe here, but I don't know what they can really do as this game, like we're only a minute 40 in, they're both on final stocks. Red team really struggling here. Here comes in Keith, the falling side air. Even grabs the, I don't know how that dare hit over the corner. That was like the front side of the dare. Normally the back side is pretty forgiving with that little scoop behind you, but the front side of the down air ended up making the connection there. There's the sidelight into the down air. Almost got the ground pound off of that, but Vortex dodged away instead of going back in. Phronix is now out after the great edge guard from the blue team. Tax Evasion will probably fall here shortly. There's the down air. He was in sweat beats before that. Of course, getting hit gives you the jump right away, but that's not going to be enough to get back. And blue team is, I don't want to say it like this because it sounds disrespectful to the red team, but Vortex and Keith the Poo Poo easily take game 1.
Well, see, this is kind of what I expected, but just more of the sense that I expected Keith and Vortex to take this game 1. I wasn't expecting them to do it so dominant in the beginning, but I can't say that I'm surprised. Again, like these 2 players, they're very good at what they're doing. They're within the doubles aspect, even in their own, you know, when they're doing ones here. So, I mean, I expect more of the same, but I do want to see how Phronix and Tax Evasion are going to be able to answer back here. And we'll definitely see how things will change up as we get into the small Fortress of Lions. Let's see how things shake up here. Right now, again, going to be a little bit of that chaos going on here as weapons start to fall down and people start to kind of really get their game going. But we do see the Taros coming out here for Tax Evasion.
Yeah, I'm thinking this will hopefully be a good switch. We didn't see too much coming out from the Wusheng last game. I mean, the biggest thing I remember from the Wusheng was that gauntlet recovery to KO Phronix after Phronix picked up both members of the blue team. So I'm hoping things like that don't happen, and I'm hoping this is going to give them some KO potential. It's going to give them some survivability. It's going to give that fear factor that Taros brings into every game that he's in. There's a neutral signature coming out from Vortex on to Keith the Poo Poo for a little bit of team damage. Dodge comes out from Phronix, but what a great ground pound from Keith that he ended up holding so he could hit. Almost got the bounce off the stage after that as well. Yeah, we're seeing the potential KOs coming out here. Phronix is the one who gets the first strike.
Yeah, okay, tries to go for the ground pound, but the reversal. Vortex is going to be able to clean that up for their team as well, and getting a second one to follow up here as Vortex disappears, and this is already a much better spot for the red team. I mean, we do see Tax Evasion at 206. I expect them to be disappearing sometime soon, but no, they just continue to survive here, not really finding any of these strong KO confirms, and there we go, finally getting it with this Sair as Keith is able to even things up, at least in terms of stock count, but Phronix in a lot of trouble stalling out up top there. Yeah, dude, he's just like, hey, listen, I recognize where I'm at, man. I'm trying to stay a little safe for a little while.
Phronix is trying to go into orbit with that one for as long as he possibly can, but the cool thing is like if you're technically in the blast zone, you can like still go up as long as you're not in hit stun. Once you get in hit stun, that is when your stock is going to fall. Now all of a sudden we see Phronix, he was surviving all the way up there for a long time on final stocks. Same thing for Vortex though, so the pacing of this game is so much better for the red team than the previous game. Nice down air from Keith, not enough to KO yet, but the damage output is still going. You target switch from Tax Evasion over onto Phronix, the juggle onto Phronix. Almost, still not enough to KO off the top. This is one of the larger ceiling maps. Stop side air from Keith here, gets one KO, and then the recovery follow-up going way deep to get the second KO, completely taking Phronix out of this game, and it's now Tax Evasion in the 1v2 again. The result ultimately is going to likely be the same for this blue team, but still, it's definitely a bigger difference between previous game.
See, the crazy thing here, too, for me, is the fact that, like, it is a better showing from the red team here, but right now it just doesn't look like it because of how big of a reversal it is for blue team. They were behind by quite a bit. Not like too much, but I feel like enough to really be a difference here.
Okay.
And there we go. We're getting a little too crazy at the
yeah.
end, but this is kind of what I mentioned I was expecting to see, and they do find a way to clean that up. That is a better showing from Red Team. I'd like to see them stick with the Taros and the Ulgrim because I think it was performing better. They were getting their KOs, they were getting some decent confirms. They were also just living longer. I think the character swaps in general is just a better option and just a smart option here. But now it's like we got to stick with it so that we can really kind of develop and get it going. So hopefully we don't just start jumping ahead for no reason.
Yeah, looking at the numbers here, we definitely need more from Phronix. We also need more from Tax Evasion. Tax Evasion put out 419 damage, so like that's a pretty decent number. If you're the losing team and you lose by 3 stocks, 419 is a pretty good amount of damage to put out. It's comparable to what Vortex put out, but Phronix put out only 196. So he was relegated under 200 damage. You're gonna need more than that, especially when Keith on the other side is putting out 649. So over triple the damage that Phronix was able to put out. We're going to the same place, and dude, Red Team double picked up. Horrible start to this game. It really feels like Keith and Vortex have everything on their side here.
Dude, just starting off with like 115 damage, happy birthday scenario is definitely not something you really want to see here. And getting 2 stocks closed out immediately. Okay, it's just a Keith and Vortex show here. Because, you know, I'm sitting here, I'm waiting for Red Team to kind of really establish himself, kind of push, you know, get used to the characters that they're playing, push it further. But Blue Team's like, no, actually, we got the read a lot stronger than you're going to make any sort of adaptation. We're going to show you exactly what we're all about here. And as we can see, man, Vortex trying to go for a nice juggle scenario there as well. But, yeah, it's definitely been a rough one right now.
Yeah, we just haven't seen that explosive potential yet from Tax Evasion and Phronix that can like really bring them back in this game, and we have seen it from the Blue Team. Dude, it's just complete and utter destruction. This Blue Team is running everything. They're stacked right on top of each other. Tax Evasion comes in with the Telegraph side signature, instantly punished. There's a nice neutral signature from Phronix. The bounce off of the recovery that came out from Phronix as well. They can't capitalize off of that immediately, at least to get the stock. See if they can get this stock off of Keith. He's at 176, so like a stomp side air from the side of the stage might do it. I don't know if a stomp dare will do it here. Okay, there's a neutral air after the sidelight neutral air from Phronix. So great follow-up from Tax Evasion. It's 4 stocks to 3. This is like, you know, it's a decent spot.
Yeah, but I kind of expect Tax Evasion to kind of get knocked out here. I mean, he is Taros. He's going to be living for a little bit longer, but still 209 is not really much longer here, especially the way that Keith has been playing. All right, we do get that to close that one out, but he's kind of been like the Sarah merchant this entire time here. And I can't tell you how many Sarahs I've seen connect that have either taken stocks or just rack up a lot of damage. Keith has been going a little bit nutty here. However, Red Team now on the offensive here, trying to see if they can find something to get going, get a little bit of damage, but still, they're just not able to really capitalize on their team combos the way Blue has this entire set so far.
Now, Phronix is actually doing a stellar job of not taking a lot of damage here. He's been outputting a pretty solid amount of damage while also taking next to none. I think he's like mainly taken 14 once his teammate ended up spawning back into the game. So fantastic. He's been like a part of the game as well. He hasn't just been running away. That gets the stock off of Vortex. They have the potential to do some work here, especially with the Taros. There's the neutral air. That's 1 KO here from Tax Evasion. We're at a better end result, even if Blue Team wins, a better end result for the Red Team than we saw previously last game. They both get away from the potential follow-up from Vortex after that sidelight, so that's good. Here goes Phronix. Can he make a big play? No. He has to back out of it, gets hit by his side air, and disarmed.
As we can see right now, Red Team kind of stuck in between the 2 Blue here. They do get caught up into a little bit of their own teammates, but that's fine. Right now.
246 on Tax Evasion, 259 on Tax Evasion right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you
There's
really
so
just gotta
much
sneeze
damage.
on him.
She's gone. Yeah. There it is, the double recovery back to back. Keith already had the birthday cake taunt ready queued up by the time that second recovery from Vortex hit. That time, the previous games, like Keith was the one doing the big damage on their team, like 600 plus in the game before the last one in game 2. I don't remember the numbers from game 1. I think they were maybe not quite that, but it was definitely Keith doing a lot of the damage for the Blue Team. But this game, we're seeing the KO split right down the middle, so sharing of responsibility on that one. And this time, Vortex is doing 624. On the other side, Keith also doing 506. So really good damage numbers coming out from the Blue Team. We're seeing the sharing of the responsibilities, like the important part of like every relationship out there. So showing that they're a really, really strong team coming into this one, even though they're seed 2 for this event.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they had that strong of a showing, though, in winners finals is alarming to everybody else. Like, everybody else needs to be on notice here. They got to recognize exactly how well these two are playing and how much they're going to need to elevate their game. Because it wasn't just that dominant. It was a 3-0 in dominant fashion, right? Very, very strong showing. But before we get into any more action here, we are going to be taking a quick break, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I took a pretty small short break, so you know, got too antsy because we're back already. We got more action coming at you here. We just needed a little bit of time to catch up in the bracket. Sparky, how we feeling today? That first set we had with Keep the Poo Poo and Vortex taking it pretty cleanly. How you feeling?
Yeah, it was definitely a quick set, and I did want to give a correction because I didn't want to throw anybody under the bus. The person doing the seeding behind the event, you and I were both confused why Phronix Attacks Evasion were seed 1 going into this one, and why Keith and Vortex were seed 2 going into this one, despite Keith and Vortex winning Springs. And that's because Phronix Attacks Evasion won Winters, and Keith and Vortex ended up getting 3rd. So when you do all the math there, it adds up to Phronix Attacks Evasion being the higher seed for this event, even when you take recency bias into effect there. So I just wanted to get everything out on the table there, so I'm not throwing anybody under the bus.
I mean, hey, recency bias is a very strong substance, so I totally get it. But we got to be moving on here. We're going to be taking a look at Plum the Great and, what is it, Yumpyo. Sorry, my eyes were kind of blending things together. I might need to get that checked out. Shout outs to all the glasses wearers out there. And they're going to be taking on Sire and Arrow. So we're going to see exactly how this is going to be working out here. We already got the players in the lobby, locked in, ready to rock. We're just going to be getting started. Just waiting to see, when we can start getting these map bans going.
Yeah, Plum and Yunpyo were not teamed together for the Spring Championship just a handful of months earlier. Yunpyo ended up getting 4th with Seijiru, which helped the seed a little bit, but of course not playing with Plum is going to hurt their seed just a little bit. So they're coming into this one seed 7. They're already into the top 4 of things, so that's like a really nice spot for them to be in. After that, I mean, we're just outplacing. That's really good. Let's see what they got for us here. We have a Vector on the screen. We have a Tesca on the screen. That's an interesting team combo. Like, we see Tesca from time to time, especially in 2s, or if like Wes in 1s, but like, dude, where is this Vector coming from? I want to see some more of this Vector. I don't know if this is what Eero played at Springs. Oh no, they played Siren Eero at Springs, played like meta. They played Taros Kaya with Eero and Makaya.
I don't know, sometimes you just want to swap things up, and, you know, there are some characters in this game that are really cool, they're just not as meta-relevant, so maybe this is just one of those scenarios.
Yeah, typically we don't see players going like hyper meta, and then I'm gonna play something weird now, so it's cool. I'm glad to see the variety here as he gets pieced up on the right side. Or sorry, it was over on the left side. It was Yunpyo getting pieced up on the right side by Eero, or by Sire, excuse me. I'm getting my names all mixed up from all the chaos that's happening here.
Yeah, Yunpyo got deleted very quickly here, so we're gonna have to see how the blue team is gonna be able to respond. I mean, right now it's not looking too bad. Things are still relatively even, you know, not taking the stock count, you know, as the be-all, end-all. Because as you can see, red team, they're looking like they're in a little bit of trouble there. As we can see, Sire's gonna be able to lose that stock, you know, fairly decently. Now Arrow at 180. Are they gonna be able to recover here? No, they recognize the position that they're in. They're just gonna go ahead and escort themselves to the left side blast zone and just come right back to the stage here. But now Plum is sitting at 2 of 4. And right now, they're actually not in a bad spot. They're getting some good damage in there. Nice little side stick, I believe, to kind of rack up a little bit of damage. They will lose their stock fairly quickly as well. And Yunpyo, who is also sitting at 131, is actually on the offensive end in that 2v1 scenario.
Yeah, he's doing such a great job here. I got to give it up to this blue team. I feel like I've never seen this coordinated of team play throughout the entire match so far. Like, it's only been a minute and a half, but they've had like so many 2v1 team combos, and even like grabbing both members of the red team, passing the red team to each other, like already so early in game 1 here. They already seem on the same page. Nice GC side signature coming out from Yunpyo. Despite that early stock loss too, like the way this blue team's able to regroup, grabbing that stock as well. It's 3 stocks to 2. Plume, who was doing such a great job of surviving, like he's only at 97 damage right now, so he's just like, he's not even at the end of, or really halfway through orange. GC Insig coming out from Eero. I don't see that signature used very often. I guess using the like arcing motion that the laser beam goes through. Like, yeah. The team play.
Yeah, that was such a huge save because I was like, oh yeah, Sire's done. It's wraps. Take him out. But no, Arrow coming through to save his teammate was super huge. And okay, we are going to see a 2-stock for one scenario here. And there we go. Sire, I was going to say, Sire's going to take out UMPO. Goes out there immediately. Gets that ground pound to take it out. Beautifully played so far. Now it's just a matter of a 1v1. You're at 174. Honestly, a sneeze should get this done. We'll see if Plum can just find the way to land the hit that they need. They do get the sidelight recovery. That's going to be able to clean that up pretty handedly.
Did he use his dodge before that? How was he able to pick up the sidelight recovery so quickly? I was gonna say, like, oh, well, he's got gauntlets, so who knows how long this could take. That's gonna give Sire potentially like several chances to then add up the damage and start to even things up. But no, it's just a sidelight recovery just like that. But then, man, towards the end, like, Sire traded out the 1v1 on the left. Let's see if his dodge comes out. So he dodged in, but I think he would have had a dodge off of cooldown. I might be wrong off of that, but it feels like he would have had a dodge off of cooldown by that. I don't know if that's just a misinput. I don't know if it's chaos of the moment. I don't know if it's tournament nerves. It is game one, but man, both of these teams were so dialed in on the team play so quickly that I'm a little bit surprised if he had a dodge that he didn't throw it out.
I think you're right on the chaos aspect, and that's kind of like one of the things that I love about doubles is that there's chaos happening all the time, controlled chaos. But that entire game one, as much as we saw some good like team gameplay, it felt chaotic the whole way through. There was just stocks flying all over the place. I don't think we went more than 30 seconds without a stock like disappearing. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, it was all over the place. It was off the top, it was off the left and right, it was off the bottom. There was that long extended edge guard on the left towards the end. There's a nice D-like ground pound coming out from Sire, picking up off of Eero. UPO might go off the top here. What's gonna happen? No, it's actually gonna be Sire right there off the bottom. See if they can get the full team wipe on red. Nice. The ground pound into the neutral air. Oh! It's just, and here's another one. It's all across the board. Full team wipes on both sides.
I gotta hand that to Sire though. I mean, definitely tried to really keep his teammate alive and was almost successful. Unfortunately, just was not able to, but you did pick one up in the process and even it up across the board there. So, I mean, it's one of those things where you get what you can, and Sire definitely made the most of it right there. So, well played, well played. We're gonna see if Red Team can continue to find a way to, you know, kind of establish something here, because right now it's not looking too bad, and they are trying to get a W under the belt after dropping the last game. As we can see right now, UMPO kind of has that stage control there. Oh, okay, he's gonna jump right into the end sig.
Oh, he went for the neutral signature. He wasn't going to hit anybody, so the weapon toss interrupting it isn't going to be a problem unless the red team happened to fall into it, which I don't think they would at that moment. Oh, Plume, he tried the ground pound. The sidelight into the recovery actually ends up doing some team damage, but he makes up for it by getting a stock right after that. But then there's a neutral signature coming out from Plume for the team KO. This is going to be Eero, the only one surviving on second stock here. Pretty deep in the red at this point. We'll see if the blue team can find this stock. They send him flying to the left. You see the GCD light. He's trying to get back as quickly as possible. That gives blue team plenty of time to put out damage on the Sire. The dodge comes through. They aren't able to get the follow-up right after that. He dodged the weapon toss and out came the down air, but it wasn't any like stock finishing move.
Yeah, okay, I would say Plum is on the, okay, there we go, finally getting out of the way. 230 before moving to stock, by the way. But yeah, this is definitely a rough position to be in. They're gonna be looking for a way to close out Sire. Arrow coming to run interference, and unfortunately, you can create a bunch of distractions as possible, but you're gonna put yourself also in the danger zone as we see blue team clean up another one. A much better showing from the red team, but unfortunately just not enough at the end when they really needed it.
And that's one of those tough, like, timing moments for the red team where, like, yes, Eero took 230 damage before he lost that stock, which typically, like, that's good. In a vacuum, that's good. But it just happened so that the context of the moment and the timing of the moment means that when he gets taken out there by living longer, then Sire had pretty much KO damage or close to KO damage built up on him, so that when they took out Eero, that just gave them all the time they needed. It wasn't very much time at all that they needed to take out Sire. They could put in the finishing move there. Whereas if he didn't take 230, say he lost his stock at 170, then Sire goes into that moment in that 2v1 combo at like 46 damage, and they're not able to find the finishing move. So like that's something that like you can't really defend against. That's like Eero does not make the right choice by being like, I am going to throw my stock away at 170 damage so that I can spawn back in, so that in the future, like, that's just it's really unlucky timing there.
it's a really tough call to make in the moment of things too. It's actually like a part of doubles in multiple games. I think it's just something that's not explored or talked about enough. It's just one of those things. But either way, as we get into game 3 here, potentially the final game for Red Team on Miami Dome, we'll see if they can find a way to get things going here. Right now, they're off to a good start against Blue Team. However, Plum,
Nice.
was on such a great offensive,
my
but Sire,
gosh.
with the gauntlet toss to take out the stock on Plum. Well played.
Dude, I saw the big ground pound from Plume coming out, and it was like, okay, he's getting set up for this edge guard. Eero's gonna be done here, and then out of nowhere, dude, the bolt of lightning comes to hit him in the head and takes him out. That was huge.
Yeah, that's definitely super
Oh, and
big.
then Sire, dude, Sire going crazy. He grabs that too. Plume was setting up for the ground pound. He loses the stock, but Eero gets the refrag. 3 stocks gone. What is happening?
This is Red Team showing up when they really needed to. I mean, it's like you got to do it when you're down 2-0, but you know what? Better late than never. That's what I always say. As you can see right now, Arrow gonna lose the stock to 200 right now. Get that ground pound won't clean it up, but they do still have a stock lead here.
Yeah, Sire doing a great job of evading. He's not throwing out hardly any attacks, doesn't want to be put in a recovery frame so that he can be punished in. So he's just running away, waiting for Eero to come back in. But Yumpio, the ground pound, dude, Sire has to come in. And here goes Bloom with the ground pound. Oh, I thought Eero might get a hit for the chase down jump after Bloom. They get both of them. Oh, no.
Oh my, I literally just talked about how big of a turnaround this game was for Red Team, and Blue Team was like, hey, hold on a sec. Just immediately picking up 2 in the process. A bunch of silly shenanigans going on that left side of the screen, and that's 2 stocks dropped from Red Team here, having a lead into being behind by quite a bit now. However, this is a position to try and find a way to really capitalize here. Not gonna be able to take out Plume, who's sitting at 143 here. Red Team, you really gotta be on top of this now, because this is probably gonna be your last chance here. You gotta find a way to get Plume out of the way and just put in the 2v1 combos. Or Plume, as long as they've got a way to be offensive here, they've got some good offensive game plan going, they're gonna be a menace. You need to get Plume out of here now.
Yeah, this is such an interesting in-game state here, because I think if you equalize the damage on Plume taking off the top, it's basically tied until that stock was lost. There's a spot dodge coming out from Yunpio. He hits the cider. He hits the turnaround recovery. Can Yunpio clutch this one out? He already took out one member of the red team. There's the spot dodge. Oh, he's able to grab the weapon in time over Sire, and he hits the cider for the KO to win that game. Throws out the GG taunt. He's going to be feeling good after that.
Dude, that was such a small, unfortunate position there at the end for Sire. I'm pretty sure they wanted to pick up that weapon and just was not able to. That just gave exactly what we wanted to Yupio. Gonna pick up that orb for the side, like side air. I think it actually was just a side air, but still, like that, dude. That was such a game of like the highs of highs and the lows of lows, and man, yeah, they really just kind of went nutty there. So, hey, really good stuff from them. That's going to be a very, very quick 3-0 once again for us as we get Plum and Yumpio kind of punching their ticket moving on into the next part of bracket. But, man, dude, SEA is already just a fireworks show. Like, it has just been nonstop action this entire time so far. And it's not going to stop here because, you know, as good as Plum and Yumpio are feeling right now, they got to be going against Phronix and Tax Evasion coming up here, who are also trying to find their way back into that grand spot so they can get some revenge here on Keith and Vortex. But we'll see how this works out. I honestly can't tell you who's going to win this one just because SEA is just chaos in full effect.
Yeah, I'm very curious how the edge guarding situations are going to go here against this red team, because so many of the things that the blue team did of Plume and Yumpio last game were forcing the edge guard situations, especially 2 members of the blue team. Their really strong edge guard weapons, like the boots, like the gauntlets, they were able to push those and work together in the edge guard situation and grab one or both stocks. I wonder how that's going to work on this red team. We will see how that works in just a few moments after we get back from break. Don't go anywhere. Our top 3, excuse me. We have Keith and Vortex. Then on the bottom side, we have Phronix and Tax Evasion, and then we also have Plume and Yunpio. We just saw like 2 sets in a row from Plume and Yunpio. Now we're, sorry, just 1 set, and we're getting into our 2nd set in a row. We potentially could see 3 sets in a row from Plume and Yunpio as they make the elimination side bracket run here on the broadcast for the SEA Summer Doubles Championship. Joining me, of course, on the desk is Skiff.
I'm happy to be here. But hey, you know what? This is actually also another very interesting scenario. So I'm kind of curious about the mentalities of these teams coming into this set here, right? Because on one side, we have Phronix and Tax Evasion, who are coming off being 3-0'd, right? And then the other side, you've got Plume and Yumpio, who just 3-0'd to get into this position, right? So I wonder if there's like how the teams are feeling in their position. Like obviously, you know, Phronix and Tax Evasion, they're like, okay, you know what, we can, you know, still make our play, we can still make our run. We just got down into the elimination side of bracket, but like that's still a little of a hey, we just like got into this position. So I wonder how both teams are feeling. That's kind of like what's on the forefront of my thought process right now for these teams.
Yeah, going into this one, at least in terms of legends, obviously the blue team of Plume and Yunpyo dealt with the Lance that the Vector brings to the table that Eero was playing last game. Like, that was not a problem whatsoever. He wasn't, like, dropping big Lance ground pounds on their head in all of the extended edge guard situations that they had. Like, they were coming out on top on the edge. So, like, they're probably not worried about that from Phronix, but maybe just the player matchup, even stepping, like, one layer outside of the video game and the legends that they're choosing. They're worried more about the play style. We are going to Demon Island, so this is a very small sidewall. Maybe this is going to discourage a little bit of that gameplay on the edge guard that Plume and UPO want to do, or it's just going to make it like that much more devastating and volatile.
I'm definitely leaning towards the second option because I mean we've had two sets that are just absolutely volatile. As we can see right now, red team just getting bopped here a little bit, and I mean that's just kind of what blue team is going to bring to the table. However, UPO is going to lose that first stock, but red team is not far behind, and that's what I'm talking about, man. Plume is just going crazy with these ground pounds. How many ground pound stacks have we got already? And it's only the fourth game we've seen for them on stream.
Dude, that was wild too. Like Plume was putting out a lot of pressure on the Phronix. Tax Evasion comes in to relieve that pressure. Like he might have gotten one hit on Plume, but then all of a sudden he's over on the wall. Here comes the ground pound from Plume, and his original target, they get the KO right after that too. So like Plume was able to deal with both of them in that moment. The pressure valve, it broke.
As you can see right now, Yumpio tried to get that recovery on Phronix, wasn't able to get the stock that he needed. The weapon toss from downtown, man. Oh my goodness, what a weapon toss. We've had a couple really fantastic weapon toss so far. And I think they've actually both been on Plume, who was in the middle of doing a crazy edge guard the last game. So that's actually really funny here. But blue team, kind of what I'm expecting here. You know, they've got a good energy behind them. They just got a nice, strong 3-0, and they are starting off this game one with a really strong start here. Yumpio, though, 116. Oh, what a pickup, though. And there we go once again, man. Plume with the ground pound to clean that up. What a beautiful team combo from these guys.
Yeah, that was a fantastic pass. I'm wondering if Plume was just busy the weekend of Springs, and that's why Yumpio was like, look at this, man. Like, they're dialed. Like, they're dialed in. There is, like, zero margin of error, or maybe there's a lot of room for error and they just like don't have to dip into that room for error because they're so laser dialed in on everything. 5 KOs coming out from Plume. Healthy damage numbers from everybody given the way that they're playing. Like you're going to see those lower damage numbers, especially when they get the KOs off the bottom with a ground pound and after their teammate like passed them, or like we saw the we saw Plume Gauntlet Neutralite, which is normally not a KO move until you do a bunch of damage, but Yunpyo was there to pick up the side air for the KO on the orb after that. So it's turning that Gauntlet Neutralite into a much earlier KO tool than it normally would be. So you're going to see those lower damage numbers, and we're forcing Phronix here onto a different Lance legend. He's coming in with the Orion with the Black Knight pick.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see how this works out. But, because what, he did pull out the Algrim last time, I think, for a character. So, no, did he stop Algrim? Okay, yeah, so we'll see if that works out for him. I'm not entirely sure right now. I mean, you know, again, it's just sometimes it's just a little bit of that energy just kind of, and the good thing is that they did this a little bit earlier too. So we'll see how it works out. But blue team already still looking like they're pretty good. Plume has taken quite a bit of damage though. But again, I mean, a little bit of damage isn't really anything to Plume. They're still going to go off stage. Granted, they lose the stock that time, but next time it might be different.
Yeah, I was really worried. Like, I saw Phronix come in with the side signature on the Lance, and he kind of went in between both members of blue team, and I was like, uh-oh, here it goes. And then he got the turnaround cider, which was great. He was even there looking to potentially save his teammate. You saw him look to the right as Tax Evasion was flung past him. He's still living, dude. His ability to maneuver off stage and not like panic jump or panic recovery into anything, they're going to trade out 1-for-1 there. Phronix has been playing like a really, really good first stock, even though the blue team has the lead, and Plume is like healthier than Tax Evasion was. Like, Tax Evasion Phronix's first stock was incredible. Neutral sig KO off the top. His movement was great. Let's see what they got here. Oh, dropping the side light. At least he gets to turn around D-light as the other blue team member comes spawning back in.
Right now, red team with a decent lead here, especially with Plume going down with 2 early stocks. I mean, it hasn't stopped them being an offensive juggernaut and going for these really risky plays of playing off stage. But still, I mean, things could turn around at on the turn of a dime here. Right now, though, okay, tries to go for that pogo, not gonna be able to find it. Had him in 2 1v1 scenarios here. There we go. Weapon toss, no weapon now though. Oh, that's big, and that is going to be a stock down. Yupio now on their last stock. Plume, 154. They got to find a way back down to the stage. They're currently getting juggled here, just looking for a way down, and red team is just not allowing it to happen. However, you gave them an opening.
Nice.
They're going to take that for a mile here. Can you get another 2v1 combo? And as you can see, Tax Evasion trying to really live up to the evasion part of their name.
A little bit of team damage there, splitting up the blue team, but they still maintain stage control as Phronix is floating above while Tax Evasion recovers on the right side of the stage. The ground pound comes in from Yunpyo. Phronix completely disengages. Tax Evasion now on final stock. KO off the top potential, but they don't find it.
Yeah, this is okay. I was about to say, this is a scenario where I expect Plum to get either member of the red team off stage and literally throw it all away. But unfortunately, they got scooped up pretty quick as red team is going to be able to secure that victory. And we finally have a real set here. That's not a 3-0. We've got 1 apiece for both teams. The red team swapping their character picks. Definitely coming in very clutch here. That Orion, definitely a very big boost for this team.
Yeah, his evasion was like the biggest thing that I was looking at throughout that entire game, because at the end of it, he didn't take that much damage. Like, he wasn't putting up like 679 damage taken or anything like that, but he was still like a part of the fights. He did a great amount of damage. He also got KOs as well. Tax Evasion did the most damage for that team, but Phronix was there, and like it was almost like he was just bait the whole time. Oh, they get the pick up here and they drop it again, dude. They gotta work on that. I think they were just a little bit too close for the timing to get that side light to come out. Side light on Axe can be a little bit slow compared to like an in light or anything like that. So like they just need to work on those team combos a little bit, because that's the second one that they've dropped now. And when you pick up 2 members with it, oh, Plume recovering into the stage, doesn't get the little like 45-degree interaction there where you can kind of use your momentum to ride that 45-degree angle up with that recovery.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. However, like, while they did drop the combo, this is still a better start than any game they've had in this set so far, and they won the last game. As you can see right now, that's 2 stocks down now. Red team really kind of getting into the flow of things here. They're going to be looking for a way to kind of put this pressure on the Plume. Both of them almost at risk of losing their stock off the top to that recovery, and still living here, man. Terrums, what a bulky boy.
Yeah, getting his signature hit from the wrong side of the stage and it not KOing. That's one of the things that the blue team was able to do before, is turn non-KOing moves into KOing moves with the follow-up from the teammate. They get 1, they get 2. This is going to fight their way back into this one, but we're looking at Yunpyo here. He's pretty much like 2/3 of the way through orange. He's at about 125 damage right now. Now he's at 140 damage. He's getting closer and closer to red. He's going to be red after that unarmed, I think it was a neutral air. Might have been a neutral light hit from the red team, and he's gone.
Yep, once there, and honestly, it was a really aggressive option using the GC side stick to kind of get back to the stage. I was surprised there wasn't a bigger punish there, but they still found a way to get the stock out of the way anyway, so like, really no harm, no foul. But as you can see now, Plume at 182. Did they find a way? I mean, that's another ground pound for Plum as they just continue to just rack up these ground pound stocks, but they're going to lose that stock there as well. Phronix now 88 on their second stock, so again, red team with a pretty decent lead here. They're going to be working, trying to get Plum built up as much as possible, because they are the offensive force for the blue team here.
Yeah, even though he's found a few ground pounds this game, like, it's definitely not the frequency that he was fighting them with previously, and it's definitely not with the lead that they had previously. There's the side light, a little bit of weird crossover team damage coming out here. They get the stock off of Phronix. Let's see if they can do some work on Tax Evasion as he double chase dodges up to completely disengage from the blue team, kind of float while Phronix is respawning. That recovery hitting Plume. Both members of the blue team are very damaged. It's not going to take much, especially with the Taros. There's the side air. He was looking for the stomp again, but Phronix came in with the side air. Should be a free edge guard here. They back away from it. They're a little bit too nervous about Plume on the edge, because they know they can throw out the side air right over the corner, have line of sight, get the KO, and win the game.
Yeah, no, again, still strong showing here. Blue team, it looks like they're going to be trying to stick it out here with the same character picks, which I guess I'm not too surprised. It's kind of what got them this far in the first place. But yeah, no, that was a much better showing from red team. Again, kind of like what you were harping on earlier, which I totally agree on. They need to clean up those team combos. And not even just for this set, but I assume they're going to win this because they're playing really well. They need to get that online for the next set here. That's assuming that they win this, they move on. But blue team, I mean, they're already they're chaos incarnate. Like, it's anytime someone goes off stage, Plum's there. Plum is there immediately, just trying to get ground pounds, just trying to build up as much damage as possible, being an absolute thorn in the sides for red team. So they really they're doing a good job with that. However, I want to see if red team continue to get these punishes of just like, hey, you're being way too aggressive, and we're gonna make sure that you're gonna get punished for it every single time.
So we're going over here onto the Fortress of Lions. No legend swaps from either team coming out here. So we do still have like pretty small sidewalls here. We have really high ceilings, probably reasonably comparable to Demon Island here. Already putting out a lot of damage onto Phronix. The recoveries coming out from Plume's spear. Okay, he's going in with the ground pound. This time it's with a spear. Yep, it's another one. It's another one all the way over there. Phronix coming in. They get 1 KO. Can they get this on Plume? He's going to keep going in with the ground pound. Double ground pound for the red team right next to each other, dude. In tandem. That was terrifying.
Red team, we've been talking about how have you not recognized it yet? You're literally putting yourself where Plum wants you. However, red team's still in the lead here, but still, my good, please, even if you got a lead, don't do it.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of feeling it now. I'm going to say let it ride, brother. Way red team's playing so far, although we are pretty even, as Phronix is going to be spawning back in on his second stock. There's a nice two-piece coming out from Yunpyo. The send back over to Plume. He's not able to follow up off of it just yet. Grabbing both members. Here's the ground pound. Here's one.
Yeah, tried to find a second one. Not going to be able to get it. Tried to go for the pogo. Not going to get that one either. And man, they've been doing a really good job of racking up this damage on Yunpyo. Again, like this early damage here, like, because then you put him in a position where he's just going to lose that stock, kind of what we talked about earlier, or he's just going to like fly to the end of the blast zone and then like recover back. Nope, still gonna be able to live though. Oh wait, that's huge. That's a big turnaround. All of a sudden, what was a deficit is now a lead for them. As we can see, but Yunpyo still at 173 and still just putting on the pressure here, as we can see right now, but is gonna lose that stock to that Sarah.
It was 2 ground pounds from Plume over on the left side with the spear with the dare in between before he found that KO. I'm just like, the crazy thing is we haven't seen any like major dunks, because when Orion has a spear in his hand, you know he's looking for the GC insig. That's just like a classic Orion player thing to do. Tax evasions on Taros, he has hammer, you know he's looking for the recovery dunks. Nice ground pound there from Phronix. He has his own ground pound, one of the more stronger ones in terms of fixed force, so you can get really early KOs with a Lance ground pound.
What a turnaround there too. I mean, that down there from Yunpyo to kind of like get that turnaround going here, putting down some pretty good pressure, and that is gonna allow Plum for the GC side light into the recovery, and again a ground pound there to clean that one up. We're going into a game 5. This is exactly what I want to see here. Blue team answering back when it kind of seemed like all was lost here. So very good stuff so far. Red team, we got to see what you got left in the tank, because this is your last shot for both teams actually to try and get to this grand finals.
Yeah, that was mostly off the back of Plume doing a great job stepping up, because he got 5 of the KOs, he did the most damage, and he also took the most damage for his team. So like every single metric that we can point at was like Plume doing everything he possibly can. So big ups to Plume there, really putting the team on his back. It's not like Yunpyo was a heavyweight to carry, but definitely he was a weight to carry, and Plume did a great job there clutching up.
All right, well, here we go, Miami Dome, game 5. It is do or be knocked out forever here, at least in terms of the Summer Championships. And right now, blue team just getting bopped, man. That's 121 on Plum already. And they're going to try and answer back themselves. However, Plum going way off stage. Now got to find their way back on. Does get there, but now it's like just without a weapon. So going to survive just a little bit longer in that recovery.
Yeah, over here on Miami Dome, even though we have those soft platforms kind of extending the main stage up, they weren't able to find the KO onto Plume when he was 150 damage, taken potentially off the top. Now they actually got him off the top. Yunpyo, the setup here, the weapon toss goes high. Phronix sets up with the down air, going into the ground pound. The unarmed recovery, not enough to do it. Plume hits a recovery from the gauntlets. The D-Sig, all the tax evasion is able to do is a neutral air there to punish it.
we go. Another one, not quite going to be able to get that. As we can see, Yumpio trying to find a way to track him down. Yumpio and Phronix both holding on to these third stocks pretty early, or pretty late, I guess, until we see that ground pound from Yumpio. Very well played. 176 going to try and extend this stock as long as possible. Barely living here.
I think the only thing he had time to hit is the neutralite after that, the side air onto Plume, just because they were so close, both members of the red team. So he couldn't find like a side stick to actually get the KO. He had to get something, and the neutralite was the best option there.
Ooh, okay, this one's a little bit tough now. Blue team both coming back here. They did kind of have a lead for a little bit, but now it's two stocks and one stock apiece for Yumpio and Plum. They're going to be looking for a way to try and get this going here. However, this could be turned around in a matter of an instant, just going off of how Plum's been playing. As you can see, that's one red player. You can see the ground pound attempt, at least a soft ground pound attempt, while going back to the stage. But yeah, now all it takes is just you going off stage, and Plum just smells blood in the water and just will go for the craziest plays possible.
Nice side sig. Of course, he has the spear in hand now, so he's going to move in with those big ground pounds. Okay, he's going to hit his teammate, but also he was looking at the real prize, which was the enemy. They're going to trade out 1-for-1 for that. It's actually not really going to help them there, just because the red team is in the lead after it, given that tax evasion is still living, but not anymore. All of a sudden, this game is so close. We're in game 5 here, Skiff.
It's really going to come down to the wire. As you can see, the recovery. And okay, it's not that there's like he was really going to lose that stock, but still, like, it doesn't matter how much damage you have. Just being all the way up there and getting hit by recovery is always a scary moment to be in. However, big damage. Unfortunately, UPO just not going to be in the right spot to continue that pickup. As we can see, though, red team, nice stage control here right now. We've got a rocket lance in hand for Phronix. He's looking for a way to kind of put down this pressure. Goes for a weapon toss.
It's like he doesn't know what to do. He goes with a side sig. In comes Plume with a D-like ground pound, but tax evasion's right on his heels. There's a GC side sig to get back to the stage, covering the top of the wall while also moving himself towards it. Yunpyo in the 1v2. Let's see if he's got it here. It's definitely winnable, but he's not going to be able to take too much punishment. He's waiting for the down air to set up. Nothing. Yunpyo gets back on the stage, goes over to the soft platform, does the Radish with the turnaround reverse slide charge motorcycle, and they see it coming. It's too telegraphed. It's too early. It's too reactive. And they get the easy punish for the KO. And in game 5, Phronix and tax evasion take it over Yunpyo and Plume.
Dude, it was like the craziest threading the needle recovery that that Yunpyo could have possibly done in that moment. And then like gets to stage and just says, I want to ride a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Which, like, hey man, you're going out looking like, you know, oh, what's his name from Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah, I can't remember.
You remember what I'm talking about though, like the
yeah, Jackson's dad.
Yeah. Well, no, not just him, but also. Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to spoil the, you know, like
14-year-old. Man, it's been like 10 years. Okay, it's been like 10 years since the show's ended. But yeah, no. Really
Jackson
great
Teller.
Stuff. Yes,
That's the name, Jackson
Teller. Thank you. I gotta watch that again. Such a great show. But yeah, it is gonna be Phronix and tax evasion. Gonna be able to clutch that one out. Very well done. And finally, something that isn't a 3-0, but you know, hopefully we don't return to previous habits here with another 3-0, because that does mean that Keith and Vortex are going to be coming in here to try and take on down Phronix and tax evasion once more. But before we get there, we're going to take a quick little break, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. In my ears, but you know what? That's not going to distract me from talking on a microphone. As we get right back into this, they're trying their hardest right now, and I wish you guys could hear what I'm hearing, because man, it is something else. But we are going to be getting into our grand finals of Southeast Asia here. We've got a repeat from winners finals earlier on, which ended in a 3-0 in Keep the Poo Poo in Vortex's favor. Can things change around this time, Sparky?
I don't know, man. Things certainly can. The answer to that question is yes. Things 100% can change, and sometimes they do. I don't know if this is going to be one of those times. You and I are both seeing the Legend lock-in screen, and we're seeing Phronix go back over onto the Macho Man that he was playing previously in their set. He's not bringing in the Orion in the last set that we saw them win right at the end there against Plume and Yunpyo. So he's starting off with the Macho Man. I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe he'll be ready to make the swap onto the Orion in game 2, or he's just gonna like run it until the wheels fall off.
I mean, he did switch to the Algrim last time in winners, so and that seemed to help things a little bit, but like you can only put down so much gauze before you need to just actually like stitch up the wounds to stop it. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how much, you know, things like really, you know, tend to be better for the red team. So I'm hoping it's a good start now, because I think Tax Evasion also swapped to the Terros, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Here. So they're starting off with where things left off last time. However, we're going to see exactly how well they do against Keith's Patrick Star, because the Sayers that were flying last time were an uncountable amount.
So we're going to be starting off here in Game 1 of Grand Finals on Western Air Temple. Tax Evasion and Phronix hoping that they can like bring the momentum off of winning the last set into this one against Vortex and Keith. They did start to dial in those team combos towards the end there. Oh, Keith, I think he was expecting Phronix to come in, which is why he delighted to the left and then turn around neutral air to the right. Holy, all right, this is a really early stock loss for Keith the Poo Poo. That's going to be a huge start for the red team. Let's see if Phronix can keep it up, putting a lot of pressure onto Vortex. Tax Evasion comes in, GC in light. That's going to get the KO here. See if they can get this stock off of Keith. No, they just back up. They're not going to get too greedy and force Keith off stage even further.
I mean, with how great of a start they have, I don't blame them for not wanting to get too risky right away. I mean, I feel like they're coming with a lot of good momentum too, because of that Game 5 set that they just won, right? So they're feeling fresh. They're feeling like, you know, they're warmed up and stuff like that. And that could be part of the issue here with Blue Team. Maybe they're not as warmed up. Maybe they were just watching the last set rather than, you know, keeping their hands warm. Who knows? But stocks are flying all over the place. However, Keith might be losing a stock right here as Red Team really solidifies his Game 1 lead.
Yeah, Keith is getting into the red. One more hit, he's going to be officially in the red. He's going to have to look at that and watch. If he ends up losing this stock, oh man, it's like they were dialed a little bit on the follow-ups off of the combos, but the end light came out for Phronix. The neutral signature missed from Tax Evasion. That would have been a stock loss. They end up getting it anyway, but it was like 10, 15 seconds later. They could have gotten it earlier than that, and that's tough because that's one of the problems that we were seeing earlier. They've been doing great team play, but still, that's one thing that's kind of been like a red flag on their gameplay. Nice recovery there from Keith, turning that edge guard around. That's going to be Phronix on final stock, and all of a sudden, you know, if Vortex is careful enough and he's able to live as long as possible, they can get the stock up of Tax Evasion, turn into the 2v1 onto Phronix, and then all of a sudden Tax Evasion's in the 1v2.
Yeah, I mean, playing Kaya here too, I think is going to be a big boon as well. I mean, just having the spear or the bow available is going to allow them to play a little bit more passive, but still kind of get their hits in when needed. So as long as they're able to just really stay on top of that, like, I think they'll be fine. But like, you also need to get in there because now Keith also at 137 here. He can't be the only one aggressing, and as we can see right there, is going to lose that final stock. So now you've got 2 stocks to go through. If you can find a way to get Phronix out of here, I mean, you can see this Phronix is going to play on the back foot here, going to allow Tax Evasion to be the aggressor, and you know, they'll pick up anything as they can, but that is going to be able to clean that up. Beautifully played, goes for the ground pound, gets to GC sidelight to clean that one up. Well done, well done.
And again, that's like another time at the end of like Phronix kind of acting like the bait there in the moment and just kind of like being really evasive and moving around. He didn't take a ton of damage. He only took 464. He did take more than Tax Evasion did. But really, it's just like him floating around and kind of being like, ooh, I'm over here. Ooh, come attack me. Ooh, nope, oh, now I'm over here. Ooh, come attack me. And like it's working, because the second the blue team wants to like disengage from that and be like, oh, you're just bait, I'm not worried about that, I'm going to go over and attack your teammate, all of a sudden, that's when he creeps back in. The second you like look away from him, he's basically like Boo from Mario. The second you look away from him, like he's coming towards you, and you need to pay attention, which is kind of what happened at the end there. The blue team started like putting a lot of their focus on Tax Evasion, and in that moment, all of a sudden, Phronix comes up, he helps set up the edge guard, and they get the KO.
Well, we're going to go right back into Western Air Temple, so I assume both teams are feeling pretty all right here. Again, blue team, I mean, we know what they're capable of. We know how strong they are, but we need to see them kind of answer back, right? That game 1 was pretty dominant in red team's favor. We're going to see if things can turn around here. However, red team started off pretty good here. The axe combos coming through, putting out some pretty solid damage on the Vortex, and the Vortex trying to take a small, quick breather, and Keith becoming the next victim.
Ooh, Tax Evasion. He charged up the ground pound. Vortex is ready with the punish. Dude, Vortex's target swap, his movement has been really good so far. He's been going so fast, back and forth between both members of the red team. Tax Evasion sent to the right, but they're both going to be focused on a Phronix, so hopefully they can at least add up damage or find the stock off of that while Tax Evasion is recovering back to the stage. Tax grabs the hammer. The side air from Vortex is going to send him over. Now Phronix is over on the wall. They get the KO off the top. This time it's going to be Tax Evasion falling. Certainly they get the edge guard here. Oh no, it feels like they kind of dropped that one. It took a lot from Phronix's in-air movement economy to get back. There's the side sig, the second swipe, hitting Keith.
Oh my god, Vortex just really keeping the red team at bay while Keith is finding his way back to the stage, just between like the weapon tosses and the side lanes to side air, and just like, just back, I say. Just racking up the damage and just like not getting hit in the process at all. That was crazy work from them. And now, a huge statement after that game 1 loss, as they are taking, 3 stocks before losing 1 for themselves. However, that should be it for Keith here. No, dodges right through.
Dude, that dodge was amazing. I really thought the top side of that was going to hit him. It wouldn't lead to the stock loss. He would just like bounce off the sidewall and end up being high and then recover back to the main stage. But still, the dodge was just fantastic on that. The timing to get through it was so good. Vortex is going to disengage. He was in the red team sandwich there for a moment. He goes over to the left soft platform. Glad he's on Western Air Temple.
Okay. There we go. Tax evasion was getting a little bit of damage in there, but caught Phronix in the madness for at least just a little bit. Tried to get a big pickup on Keith. Unfortunately, just a little too late on that one. All right, there
Tax
we go.
evasion just kind of, dude, Tax evasion was like camping on the right side soft platform because he's the most damaged in this game and on final stock. Keith hits the stomp side air, extends out, goes back. He sees Phronix coming in as the pressure relief valve. There's Vortex setting up the edge guard, but blue team more laser focused on Phronix. I kind of like this. They're sending one member of the red team away and then both playing the man advantage onto the other. And they're kind of just like going back and forth doing that for each member of the red team. Tax evasion does find the KO here. Phronix gets the bounce off the wall with the Lance recovery, not enough to KO Keith just yet, and to send him on a final stock. This time he creeps into that effective zone with the hammer recovery. He gets hit by the Lance recovery for the KO off the top left.
Yeah, we can see that Vortex was there, just kind of like, look, they recognize the situation that they're in. They are low damage, right? That's potential for a really long team combo. They decided to just kind of play along on those platforms until Keith came back to provide some relief. As we see right now, they both have weapons in hand here. It doesn't take much to get Tax evasion out of the way. They just need to find that opening to really get him gone. And they are gonna get him to punish on the recovery. Yeah, very well done. And now Keith and Vortex looking to try and close out Phronix here. And after what was really a good start from blue team, red team did do a very good job of bringing things back. They weren't able to, get like a 1v1 scenario. It still ended up being a 2v1 in blue's favor, but still much better than the start of that game. And now we're at 1 apiece.
Ooh, Western Air Temple taken out of the pool here. They didn't like that. And the blue team seems to not want 2 soft platforms either. One of the other variants of that being the Miami Dome. So completely taking that off the table as well. We're going to be getting into this next one. It's tied 1-1 in the set. I'm liking red team, even though they were definitely behind at the end of last game. I'm liking some red team gameplay here.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see how things move forward here. And again, red team off to a hot start. Picking up some really solid damage so far. Again, it's just a very, very early part of the game, though.
Nice, good follow-up. There was a dodge there from Keith because that was not a true combo. Maybe if he would have been a little bit quicker with it from Tax evasion, that would have been true, and they could have hit both members of the blue team. Phronix setting up here. Dude, he's able to avoid 1 hammer recovery, not a second. When it comes Tax evasion, he was too far away for the hammer recovery to make contact. That got the KO. Even just Phronix is recovering back to the stage. Vortex had enough damage added up on him by Tax evasion.
That was a crazy ground pound attempt there, too. Just went for it all and just was not able to find it. Keith still holding on to the third stock right now, though. As you can see, red team kind of opting to go towards his side of the stage, trying to see if they can find a way to clean him up and just continue work onto Vortex. Vortex, has a little bit of damage here, but again, hasn't really been the focus for red team so far. But now we're in a position where that could be the case. Vortex looking to clean everything up by themselves, though. Keith coming in with 1 ground pound. We'll get 1 stock out of the way. Vortex with the side air, not gonna be enough to take out Phronix. However, Phronix at 185, it won't take much to get it done.
Yeah, Keith dropped the second D-Light ground pound, unfortunately, but yeah, Phronix was right there, Vortex was right there with the spear side air to get the follow-up right after. They're gonna be looking for the KO here. 217 damage on Phronix right now. He's at the weapon disadvantage, gonna be looking for a spawn. Surely he gets taken out off of that. Okay, they do get the stock as the weapon spawn was coming back in, right as he queued up that gravity cancel down heavy.
But the blue team already taking so much damage on these second stocks as well. I would be careful if I was Vortex. Going off stage like that and just like not hitting anything, then you were in disadvantage at that point. Keith's gonna lose that stock. You're gonna have to play the elusive game once again. Is taken out by the recovery from Phronix here on that top right part of the stage. Now it's 1 stocks a piece for blue, 2 stocks a piece for red. What, blue getting some decent damage going?
Yeah, the movement, the target swapping that Vortex was so good at last game, I'm just not seeing it this game. I don't know if it's a map difference, if it's just like not the weapons that he wants at the right time, because he was doing a lot of it with the bow, and now you see him even swapping out the bow for the spear. A little bit of team damage there. I don't know if that was just to like separate him from that area to bounce his teammate off the wall. Ultimately, Phronix ends up getting the side air for the KO. This is Keith stuck in the 1v2. Great timing on that recovery to get through the ground pound from Phronix, putting him on a final stock as well.
And it looks like he's going to be dancing with the Taros, just trying to see if he can find a way to get tax evasion, you know, just some damage here. This is going to be a tough spot to be in. Now, we've mentioned red team's team combos.
Nice.
Well, okay, you know, I wasn't even going to finish that conversation because all it takes is stomps there to clean that up anyway, so.
So, Key, I feel like that was the most, like, textbook everything everybody is supposed to do in that moment, but ultimately it's pretty much going to be a losing situation. It's like you're playing an in-game in chess where you're probably going to lose, but you still go through the moves one at a time. Like you're going through a flow chart where you saw the gravity cancel neutral signature coming out from Keith as he was on the wall. The red team is not going to like push that. They're not going to take the bait, even though a dodge was burned, because they have stage control, they have man advantage, they have everything. Keith has to push up onto them, so they just kind of wait. They throw out the side signature from the Olgrim. That's also a bait. If it hits, amazing, they get the stock. If he doesn't, then that's where tax evasion is. He's absolutely ready. That's already built into the flowchart and gonna happen no matter what, and that is going to be the stock loss. So
yeah.
Great gameplay really from everybody at the end. It feels like everybody went down the flowchart they're supposed to go to, and unfortunately in that situation, it's just like red team has everything in their favor and you're gonna lose that one.
Now, what I'm wondering here, though, is after that winner's finals set, if, you know, that 3-0 loss kind of really lit a fire underneath red team here. Because, I mean, granted, we did get a game 5 on the elimination side finals, but they're coming in here just playing some phenomenal 2s in Brawlhalla. I mean, a great lead right now. They're going to try and find a way to close out Vortex. However, Vortex, huge reversal.
Nice.
And that is actually going to be a big pickup here. Can they get Vortex back? Oh, no!
No.
Okay, Keith tried to go down, then tried to save his teammate, and almost lost the stock in the process as well. However, it is still a very even game.
Yeah, that was really smart from tax evasion to come in and put all that pressure on Keith so that he couldn't dip down super low close to the blast zone, grab the down air, and send Vortex up. He just had to back out from saving his teammate. Otherwise, Keith was also going to lose his stock in the process.
Right now, they're not in a bad spot either. I mean, 175, however, it is Patrick Starr on the Taros, basically. And that is going to be able to take it from the other side, but that is an Ulgrim side, like, from the other side of the stage. I mean, he still hits like a truck hack, still hurts. There we go, nice pogo to get back on stage. Also have a nice little bit of stage advantage here. Okay, there we go. Nice weapon toss, finding a way in there. Two teams. Okay, there we go. Things are definitely starting to slow down here a little bit. You can definitely feel the tension mounting up. Big pickup for both of them. This air, that's going to be one. Can we get a second? Looking for the stop.
Looking for the... Yeah, he looked in for the dash and D-light. Then he moved off stage further, tried to hit the recovery after he got below his opponent. He's still looking for the stomps, but his opponent was too aerial, and tax evasion got the falling side air right after that. GC side save from tax evasion. Oh. Dude, come on, man! You gotta get that, dude. How many times have they dropped those? I feel like they had the perfect setup there. There wasn't even like another member of the blue team to get in the way and mess things up or put pressure on them. Just the bounce off of the stage after the in-sig is a little bit too high to pick up that grounded side signature. Just get ready for maybe the gravity cancel just a little bit off the ground so you can hit a grounded opponent and a slightly aerial opponent.
And the crazy thing about that too is by missing that, you still got the stock afterwards, but Keith came back into play and picked up a stock on you in the process as well, which just made things worse. That's definitely a problem red team really needs to address here, because that combo looked great to start. It could have put them in a nice position. If he had landed that, this would be a much different game right now, because blue team is looking like they are on the cusp of forcing this game 5 here. Weapon toss.
Nice, dude.
Nope, not gonna get picked that one.
The guarding from Vortex as Phronix is coming back to the stage. There's the down air. He would have liked to hit a recovery there, but his opponent was below him. Dude, that's one. Oh, skip, dude. It's going to end like that. That's tough. They got to be ready, man. That's what we talked about earlier. You called it out specifically. Even if it's not specifically in the Bloom and Yunpyo game, it's going to be a problem in the next game against their next opponent in the grand finals. You called it out word for word, bar for bar.
This should be the reset. Like, we should be in the next set right now. And it really just kind of comes down to that one missed combo on Tax Evasion's end there. And you know what? Hey, things happen. I mean, I know we're harping on it a lot, but hopefully they aren't, so they can just get their mental right to get into this game 5, because it's either you pushed it into the reset, or we're just done. We're just done, and Keith and Vortex are going to be your champions for 2s today. So, I mean, we'll see how things work out. Looks like we got our players ready to go. They're ready and locked in. Looks like no character changes at any point in time. So we'll see how things work out. I don't know what stage we're going to be going to. We're getting Western out of here, and that's the only stage that Keith and Vortex have gotten a win on in this set. So that's just something to keep in mind here. So I don't know where we're going to be going here. I mean, Small Fortunes of Lions, we did see Tax Evasion and Phronix. I believe that was game 3 that they got a W on before we went back to Western Air Temple. So who knows? I'm not sure where we'll be going here.
So specifically that team combo, that's now like the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen it end in a similar fashion. I can't remember if Tax Evasion's been going for the same move, but he's been throwing out a grounded move towards the blast zone, and it's been an aerial opponent each time that is like bounced out or bounced above the move that he's thrown out. So I need him to go for something different. Maybe that's the neutral signature facing your teammate, so you reach up at the 45-degree angle in the air ahead of you. You can hit an aerial opponent, you send behind you. It's still a Taros insig, so even if you get the bounce off the stage off of it, you're probably going to get the KO, or you need to do an aerial move, or you need to catch the opponent as they're bouncing off the ground, so they're still technically grounded, and you can hit a low move. He has to change something up.
All right. Well, we're going to see how things exactly change up here. I mean, right now, blue team is still relatively close. However, blue team, okay, I was going to say, is not too far behind until losing that stock, and now it is a firmly strong red lead, I would say. However, you still got to be careful going off stage against Keith, especially when he has that hammer in play, because the reversal potential is much too high.
Gonna be coming back with the sweat beads. Vortex is not able to give him a hit or anything like that so that he can get back to the stage, because members of the red team were there to kind of deter that option as well. So great edge guard, great defense there from the red team as Keith was respawning or moving back over towards the stage, recovering.
Ooh. Oh, okay. That
which one's it gonna be?
Yeah, that was really terrifying, man. Getting the GCD light into the recovery. And again, it's not like there was that much damage, but just how high up they were. It scares you a little bit. It shakes you to the core. However, things are going to even up, really relatively even so far. So great stuff from blue team after a little bit of a rough start. However, red team kind of picking up where they left off, trading back and forth with these hits, kind of passing blue team members back and forth. Vortex, again, still a lot of damage.
They've done a great job coming back into this one. Vortex, he takes a side sig all the way from the right side of the stage, so he's still going to be living with that Kaya defense as well. See if he can play this one safe while still being a part of this game. Little weird, like single hit team damage is coming out. Phronix, he's able to get the dodge up to touch the wall and reset his jumps. There's a big side air hitting his teammate and Tax Evasion. There's the side light. There's the stop side air. Is there going to be a turnaround here? It starts with the weapon toss from Vortex, but the recovery from Phronix is going to completely split those players up.
But that's huge. That's a big pickup there. That's another stock in your favor. Dude. Oh my God, the reversal, the GC down six. I believe that was a touchdown, yeah, from Tax Evasion. Just gonna be able to grab that, whip him to the other corner. Oh my God.
Vortex had like 250 damage on that stock before he finally lost. Oh no! What are you doing, Phronix? Oh no, dude, that was a yellow KO from a low strength legend off the top with the spear recovery in the blast zone, dude. Oh, Skip, not like this, man. It hurts.
It might be over, man. That's such a huge stock loss here, and I'm not trying to write Tax Evasion out. It's just that blue team has some crazy team. No, man, I'm sorry. You can't convince me into this one. I'm sorry. It's nothing against Tax Evasion. It's just like
Taros.
Dude, it's a Taros versus a Taros and a Kaya. What's the advantage here?
Nah, man. It's trust Tax Evasion 2025. He can do this one. He just got to play it so carefully. He knows that if he hits an axe, Inlight Keith is going to be right there, which is why he didn't go for the Inlight. He went for the single hit side light.
Okay, but now you're off stage. Kaya's looking for these pogos, has no problem throwing that out. However, okay, a couple strong hits here. Tax Evasion has to play so loose. You know how hard it is to play super elusive as a Taros? It is not the easiest thing in the world.
He can take like one more recovery. Come on, man. The IRS is at your door. I want you to slip out the back door. Okay, he's able to run off the stage because of how far away Vortex was. He has hammer. I'm liking this as the weapon swap here. Oh no, the side air. And Keith the Poo Poo and Vortex are your SEA Summer Doubles champions.
Man, that's so unfortunate,
that hurts.
man.
That really hurts.
It really comes down to that game 4 miss combo. If you just land it, man, that means you get that stock out of the way. Keith doesn't come in, and even though you get that combo, he doesn't get the punish on you to be able to force the game 5. We'd be in the reset, which means this loss wouldn't be that big of a deal because you'd have at least 2 more games. I think it really all comes down to that. It's really important, but that is kind of the name of what we've seen so far, is just red teams drop team combos. If they clean that up, we could be having a different champion here. But I do want to go right back and congratulate Keith and Vortex for winning it all, man. They played really clutch in that last scenario there as well. A huge combo at the top from Vortex, the yellow combo. I believe, I don't remember what the combo was exactly, but still, getting a stock back early was nuts.
Yeah, that was a huge game-changing moment. Now, Vortex only put out 382 damage, and one of the reasons that number is so low is because one of those KOs was that yellow KO off the top, so you don't have to do 150 more damage in order to find the KO, or wait for Keith to find the other 5 KOs like he did that game because he plays Taros, and that's what you're supposed to do is Taros. So, dude, the 1 KO that Vortex got was that yellow KO off the top. Huge game-changing moment. It's really tough to see the red team lose the previous game because they dropped something rather than something that the blue team did that outplayed them. That's really tough to watch. But then even off of that, you see the next game, that recovery KO in yellow from Vortex. You see the moment at the very beginning of the game where Vortex lost his stock super early in the game, and he was able to rally back, find the yellow KO off the top. There was also a moment in the game where he had 250 damage on his stock before he ended up losing that as well. So man, it's that early hiccup for Vortex didn't stop him whatsoever, and that major hiccup from the red team in the previous game, it felt like that was the final nail, man. That's so tough.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is, right?
Yep.
Things happen.
Yep.
And I mean, we gotta have a champion at the end of the day, right? Unless servers go down everywhere and internet is out and all that stuff, we have to have a champion at the end of the day, right? Just all circumstances coming through. But hey, congratulations to Keith and Vortex once again, man, representing SEA. And if I'm them, I'm you better make us the #1 seed next time. We've shown it. We've shown it. All right, we know what we're about. But that is gonna be it for us today. We do have more action coming up in a little bit later, plus a lot more action the rest of this weekend. Sparky, any last thoughts?
It's going to be a great weekend of Summer Doubles. I can't wait to see what the other regions have in store for us. Want to give a last-minute congratulations. 3rd place, Plume and Yunpyo, and 2nd place, Phronix and Tax Evasion, and 3rd place, Keith the Poo Poo and Vortex coming out with the gold medals around their necks.
All right, well, that'll be it for us. We'll be right back. I think we got MDNA coming up in just a little bit. Looks like, hey, probably about 30 minutes here. So, hey, you know what? This is a good time to get some brunch. Maybe go for a nice walk outside. I know the weather outside here is pretty nice. So, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I mean, don't. We'll see.
Stage beats down and eating that end light, coming back on, but that's a side sit on the groove. Opponent, but it doesn't matter.
Hide away! Are you kidding me? Hide away! It's instantly punished from Hughes, and he is your 2-time Brawlhalla 1v1 World Champion.
up, Brawlhalla, and welcome back to the Summer Championship. This is the 2v2 weekend, and we are getting right into things here in the Middle Eastern region. How are you feeling, Dara?
I am feeling quite well. I'm super excited to be here. Polly, it has been a while since you and I have had the pleasure of commentating together, so I missed you. I missed you very much, my friend. Welcome on in, everybody. We are, of course, once again in the Middle East region. We're going to be kicking it off from, I believe, the top 4 side of things. This is, of course, Two's weekend. Last weekend, we had singles. And so, you know, what we've seen from Two's so far, I feel like, honestly, there's not been that much of a deviation in the meta. There's going to be a lot of Telos. I feel like there's going to be a lot of Olgrim, a lot of Bryn, as always. You know, right now I'm taking a look over. I believe we're going to be opening off with winners finals, where we have Fixel and Poe teaming up together up against Hebi and Itami. So I'm seeing a Wushang, I'm seeing a Telos, I'm seeing a Sidra, and I'm also seeing a Zul. So what does that mean, my friends? Lots of Axe, lots of Hammer, lots of Wushang, a lot of the classic picks, but then Sidra, of course, just such a dominant legend in the 2 setting.
For sure, and I mean, I gotta address the elephant in the room right now. We have Poe and Fixel in the lobby. There's been 3 doubles tournaments in the MENA region, and they have 3 gold medals, Dara. Last tournament, they didn't drop a single game. They didn't drop a single game in the entire tournament. Guess what? They haven't dropped a single game yet thus far in this tournament either. These guys are called GOATs on Challenger mode, and I've gotta say, that is a very bold team name to put, but I'd say it's very, very accurate.
Yeah, so the question is, the narrative at the moment is there going to be anybody that is able to usurp this team? Is there going to be anybody that's going to be able to stand a chance to them? Well, you and I are just going to have to find out. Everybody, this is winners final. So of course, whoever gets knocked down is going to be sent into elimination semis. And let's kick it off. We're going to be going to Demon Island for game 1.
All right, going to Demon Island for first one here. Fixel and Poe, one of the things that make them such a dominant force in the region are how well they're able to synergize with one another. Not only are they the 2, apart from Comer, they're the 2 best ones players. You already see thus far in this first stock how they're able to combo out Heavy.
That's right, but right now Itami is going to be off stage. The N6 is going to be coming through. Fixel is going to be able to get the ground pound. Oh my gosh, who is going to be going down? Fixel makes it back on. Itami throwing away the stock for no reason whatsoever. And just like that, that's the blue team. That's Poe and Fixel. Whoa, wait a second. Heavy's on last stock?
Heavy is on last stock, just like that. You look away for 1 second, and Fixel and Poe are going to take you down to last stock. Ground recovery is going to hit on the way back up for Fixel. Going down here, losing their first stock, as Poe stuck in this momentary 1v2. He's going to be able to catch both of them with the sidelights.
He got them both stacked, and that just means you have to cover one of the options, and then somebody else is going to get the jump called out. Heavy's going to be going out there for the ground pound. Poe makes it back on. We've not seen a lot of 2s play. This has just been a lot of individual 1v1s, and Fixel and Poe have been winning their respective 1v1s. Fixel with the whip punish with the stomp sail. Heavy's trying to make it back onto the stage. Itami with an amazing interruption and saving his teammate, but not for too long. That's a stomp sail. That's Itami off stage. Can he get this edge guard potentially? The neutral air comes through. Poe comes back on with the weapon toss. Itami tries to slide charge that D-Sig, but I think this is going to be all blue team.
Goes down for the ground pound. Itami still going to be alive. One dare comes out from Poe. Fixel takes over the edge guard instead. It's going to be the neutralites to take Itami down to their final stock. I mean, at this point, you're already thinking about the next game. Itami is going to need to grab both of these knockouts and then play almost perfectly in order to win here.
Pixel doing an edge top, playing support though. Poe tried to set up the sidelight set, but right now this is probably all over for Itami. Itami, this could be a potential edge guard setup here, but honestly, I don't know if I have that much faith. It is 1 stock to 4. The ground pound is still not going to be enough to KO. Itami is fighting. Itami is swinging, but oh man, I don't know how much more fight he has left in him at this point.
The Light Nair comes out, and that's going to be Poe winning them the first game here with what I can only really call, I mean, we were seeing some domination there, Dara, especially, I mean, in the first half of this game. The way that they were able to just completely single out Hebi. You see there, the early knockout of Fixel was able to get on that hammer against him. That was really what spelled Itami and Hebi's doom.
And Itami wanted to go for the reversal, and then he ended up throwing away his own stock as well there at the end. So a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, I feel like it was really difficult from the beginning. We didn't get to see any crazy team combos from Poe and Fixel, but they backed each other up when they needed it. But honestly, I feel like a bulk of that game can be chalked up to they won the respective 1v1s, right? They're never really playing too well with each other. We'll see if we get to see more of that synergistic twos play. But we'll see what Heavy and Itami have to offer us in game 2.
We're moving into it. Poe. Already we're seeing Itami on the offstage, able to get an early knockout. That's going to be Fixel. Already down to their second stock. What happened? Did you see that offstage play? I was looking at Poe.
It was I was looking at the right side. It all ended with the ground pound, but Fixel, he gets the end sig. It's going to be on his own teammate. Both members of the blue team, they have to find a way to be able to make it back on Heavy, D-Light, Silly, Tommy. No position to follow up. The GC end sig going to be coming through as well. Poe keeps on going through the side light, so they keep jumping over it. Itami making it out successfully. Poe left without a weapon. Fixel is off stage against Gauntlets, and Itami, he is out for blood. Fixel's on his last stock.
Dude, if I am going up against like the best and the second best 1v1 players in the Middle Eastern region, the last thing I'd be thinking about doing is trying to single them out in a 1v1. But Itami is somehow doing it
He's tried to do it
successfully.
again. That Heavy was in a position to go for another ground pound. He had such a good angle and he didn't pull the trigger. I don't think the downer would have connected. Oh, the team combo. Is that going to be able to KO off the Eds? Yes, it is. And now it's happening again. Fixel going to be dropping his side of the follow-up, but that is a lot of damage. Poe goes all the way out there. Side light recovery connects. Is Itami going to be able to make it back on? He gets the dodge, but Fixel took him out.
Oh, this could be massive. Poe. Go for the full commitment. Heavy, no options. They're able to find the knockout. This is possible. It's still doable, Dara. They're almost taking out Itami here too. No options. Wet beats come out. Dare comes out. Recovery. They're not able to find it, but Itami is orange and Poe has two stars completely healthy. They've somehow done it, Dara. Poe and Fixel are still in this game. This is still so winnable
but
for them.
But not if Fixel gets knocked out, because Fixel right now, he's going off stage. He's looking for a crazy grab out. He makes it back on with the recovery. Heb, oh no. That was such a big commitment. He's still able to keep himself onto the stage. The interruption. Poe gonna be saving his teammate. Otherwise, that would have been an easy D-Light recovery, an easy D-Light sail. The grounded sword recovery was not enough to KO Fixel off the top. Heb, okay, making it back on here. He wants that stock onto Fixel so badly. Itami gonna be dropping the NSYNC follow-up. What happened?
What happened, dude? Fixel with the side signature, picking up both of them to get a knockout, and Poe tries to go for the D-Light ramp out. It's not going to connect. I'm just looking for the knockout here. I mean, at this point, they just need to clean up house, dude. Poe getting knocked away quite far. Fixel, gotta be careful not to get knocked out here. Sidelight comes out.
Oh, this might be it for Heavy. I don't think he has anything left, but you know what? Even still coming back onto the stage, Fixel gonna be able to get a hit for Heavy trying to come back on with the recovery. The back hit of the axe recovery is gonna be able to do it, and that is the blue team, Poe and Fixel, coming up with a 2-0 lead. Heavy and Itami. They still have not lost the game. That's right. Poe and Fixel look so good. Heavy and Itami, honestly, you know, they opened off so hot. Itami got the 2 stocks off of Fixel, but they dropped quite a few follow-ups together. There was quite a few times where both members of the blue team were off stage, and I think it was like the Sidria and Sig that like ended up whiffing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one was crazy. But then Itami like missed another like Wushang and Sig as well. They missed a couple of really key combos, I think, and the lead just fell apart.
It is definitely a combination of Poe and Fixel being insanely clutch, but also Heavy and Itami having a little bit of, I think, a mental block. I feel like a lot of teams, whenever you see a team this dominant, you've got to say that at least a small portion of what's going on is a mental block, right? Because Heavy and Itami, as you were saying, they were looking so good. All of a sudden, what's changed? I mean, Fixel and Poe are playing better, right? But you're also playing slightly worse. That's not really supposed to happen unless there's some mental dynamics in play there.
I think Itami played very well. Now, that's not me trying to like diss on like Heavy too much, but I think Itami opened off super hot. The reason they were able to get that lead in the beginning was because of Itami. And that might just also be like a, you know, let's go gambling kind of moment, because going Gauntlets off stage against Hammer is a very bold choice. You can easily get reversaled, but Itami's edge guarding was just honestly that good. It was just that solid in the beginning. He was just able to really pressure Fixel, but at the end, I don't feel like they had the doubles synergy that Poe and Fixel had, and they had a little bit more consistent damage output. it. They had a couple more consistent combos, and the interruptions from Poe and Fixel. They supported each other so well. When somebody got hit, somebody else covered from behind. And now Poe,
nice
the
read.
GC sidelight extension, that is so much damage, Polly.
But they'll pretty much even it out. I mean, to be fair, Poe and Fixel accumulated like 80 damage right now. Oh, okay, that's way more. Heavy and Itami on like 200 shared right now. Fixel able to grab that recovery. That's going to be Itami out in the first, what is that, 20 seconds of the game. And Fixel able to get the second one out to Heavy. The GCD signature. What a creative option, but Heavy is going to be able to get back onto the stage. That D signature sending him in a bit of an upward trajectory.
Yeah, I like the idea. That was a really cool idea, but it was not enough to be able to KO. D-Light Neutral comes out, the Sail as well, and that is now going to be Heavy, knocked down to a second stock. Itami trying his best to be able to avoid a beating. He gets the side sig, and it is going to be able to KO. Poe, again, sidelight, immediate Sail, puts himself off stage, makes it back on. Yo, that double chase dodge? Hello? That was crazy.
Neutralite. Poe goes for the dare too. Weapon throw's gonna connect.
Oh, the weapon throw! And the GCD sig off stage once again. Heavy's gonna be eating it. Heavy eats a lot of damage. He's trying his best to be able to make it back on. The neutral comes through. You saw Fixel try to interrupt the combo. It forced Itami to dodge, and Itami was not able to get the full advantage state against Poe. This is Fixel and Poe constantly interrupting the red team synergy.
Sidelight comes out. Heavy trying to get something started on this cannon here, but Fixel immediately coming back with that axe, starting swapping over to Tommy, able to get a sidelight nair. The neutral signature, sorry, the down signature isn't going to be enough to get the knockout though.
Okay, Itami, he's able to get the end light. Heavy's follow-up gets interrupted. He needed to pay attention to the fact that Fixel was right behind him. Maybe an immediate D-light and then target switch. He not even go for the GC D-light to begin with. Fixel finally gonna be picking up a weapon and then immediately jumps into Itami's D-sig. The red team is doing their best. This is the best that they've looked so far, but they're still quite a bit behind.
Right, let's see. Fixel, nice recovery. Itami able to interrupt that side signature with the recovery of his own. Both players very damaged. They gotta take down Fixel. If they're able to take down Fixel, this is still possible, Dara.
Yeah, we'll at least get the stock off of Poe now, but Fixel again with the interruptions, and just like that, it has now become a 2v1. I don't know if Heavy's going to be able to pull this one off. It's a bit of a long shot. Fixel is still looking relatively healthy. Heavy is down so deep into the red, and he just eats the end of that side sig. Poe and Fixel are going to continue their perfect streak this tournament so far. Not a single game dropped all day long.
Now keep in mind, perfect streak thus far, yes, but it's also building on top of the perfect streak that they had last tournament. So like, not only have they not lost a single game in this tournament, but it's like their second tournament in a row of doing it, and they've gotten their way all the way up to Grands by doing that. It is insane how just dominant this team is in the Middle Eastern region right now.
Yeah, they're absolutely crazy. But the thing to take away from looking at that set and how that played, you need to look at what actually succeeded for Poe and Fixel, right? Because even though Heavy and Itami, like, they had like the really crazy edge guards in the game too, the thing that made Poe and Fixel so consistent is their situational awareness. I'm gonna say it again, it was their situational awareness. And you saw this every single time. Heavy and Itami, towards game 3, they had more setups. They were beginning those team combos. But Poe and Fixel, they did something very important. They stopped it. They looked at what was happening around them, okay? And when they saw one of their teammates was getting hit, there was always somebody else interrupting, stopping the combo, or sometimes even getting a KO for it altogether. Heavy and Itami, to be able to match the synergy of Fixel and Poe, they need to know when can they actually combo, when are they in a position to go ahead and go for that risk, because in a 2 setting it's not actually guaranteed. You can always get interrupted. And when do you go for the target switch? When do you sometimes just choose to do nothing? And it felt like they only chose option 1 all the time. They only chose to go for the combo extension, and as a result they got interrupted, they got punished, they lost their advantage, and then they got sent off stage because of it. So Poe and Fixel, they look phenomenal. Let's see if there's going to be anybody that stands up to them. But now we're jumping on over into the elimination side of things.
And these are some underdogs here in the elimination side of things. This is going to be a game for 5th. Yeah, this is going to be a game for 5th. We've got Introvert Tahir and Fox Mina going up against X-Edit and Nad here. Now, Introvert Tahir and Fox Mina are two names familiar to me. Introvert Tahir, of course, I'll say this every time I cast MENA, but Introvert Tahir practiced and played on the EU side of things for very, very long, as most of these players have. Introvert Tahir, most notoriously, is one of the ME players, though, who were really able to make a name for himself in the European side of things. Apart from Fixel and Marker, have also been players that were able to do that. So teaming with Fox Mina now, which is also a fairly established name in the Middle Eastern region. On the other hand, X-Edit and Nad, we haven't seen them that much. We have, however, seen them deeper into top 8. They have gotten themselves a bronze medal previously, which Introvert Tahir and MENA have no medals.
Yeah, so it'll be exciting to see them go at it. It's actually, I feel like we probably casted them at some point or another, but this is not a region that we get to cast the most often, so I would not be able to tell you off the top of my head on who they're going to play or who they're going to go. And you are correct, this is going to be for 5th. This is to go ahead and get into elimination semifinals. And then just like as a bracket update, in elimination semis is Yellow Flash 11 and AOG teaming up together. And then, of course, the team that we just got to see lose on the winning side is going to be sitting in elimination finals. So right now, we're just waiting for everybody to pile on in. Seems like everybody wants to stick to Demon Island, nice big completable stage. But really what I want to see more than anything is going to be some team synergy. Hopefully today, is the day that Poe and Fixel perhaps even, lose even a game. Even if they lose one game today, it's going to be a very different
That's going to be a victory.
Are you saying...
Yeah, that'll be a victory.
You're saying last 2's tournament was also a perfect streak for them?
Yes, literally. Yeah, even Grants. They didn't drop a single game last tournament, and they're literally continuing on this streak right now. I'm pretty sure... correct me if I'm wrong. There's a lot of smart people in the Brawlhalla community that are really nerdy about this kind of stuff.
Hold on.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if it's been done before. I honestly, it could be one of the first times. Maybe like Tiger or someone else who historically has had a really, really dominant run has done 2 tournaments back to back without dropping a game. If anyone can get all this and let me know, this might be. I mean, if it's happened before, it's happened like once before. I'm calling it.
Yeah, let's find a smart person in Brawlhalla to go ahead and tell us that. I think it's probably happened in like at least once. Like I swear people talked about this once, but I don't know. I don't know if in a 2 setting. Definitely, not to my knowledge at least, but somebody who has been around longer would be able to tell me. Okay, so my friends, we are now going to be jumping on over. We are seeing a bunch of standard picks and then one unconventional pick, and that is going to be the King Zuva. King Zuva, not somebody that we see played quite frankly at all. The last time that I got to see was probably, I don't know, I think Stingray playing Zuva once or twice. But Zariel, Telos, Ulgrim, these are your classic 2's picks. A whole lot of classic 2's picks, my friends. And now we get to see a King Zuva, which I think is pretty exciting because we don't get to see that often at all.
Yeah, 9 strength battle boots, and also, of course, everybody knows about those King Zuva signatures, man. And those King Zuva signatures have so much, like, they're so useful in 2v2. I feel like one of the main reasons people don't really like King Zuva that much is because of his kind of low defense paired with his low speed, right? Which is not very optimal for 2v2. Yeah. But let's see if they are able to make this work. If Nad is able to make this work, I'm gonna be looking forward to it. Already, what an amazing starting combo by Fox and Tahir, taking down the players down to 90 damage and 90 damage, both of them respectively.
Oh, and Tahir's movement right now is looking phenomenal, and we try to see that, bit of an early KO off the top, but you know what, at the end of the day, it is boots. But Fox with the extension with the neutral, we're seeing the attempt to go for the GC side light. Tahir's off stage with no resources, but that was almost the SD. Gonna be getting the dodge just back in time, but okay, wait a second. Oh my gosh, what an opening already for the red team.
Dude, Tahir is getting funny with it. Tahir is getting funny with it right now on this bow with these signatures this far. Gets the sidelight, tries to go for yet another neutral signature. And you already know he's conditioning those jumps, trying to make the play more grounded here. Oh, what an offstage play by X-Edit.
And X-Edit is also going to be able to get the good cover to take the stock off the top of the blue team with a gentle lead at the moment. As long as Nod could play a little bit back here. He gets a side of the neutral extension as well, dude, putting the pressure onto Tahu. And then they caught the red team stacked with the last hit of the boots and light.
All right. Let's see what they're able to do. Not able to get a little bit of a starter here. Catching both of them, but unable to find that follow-up there. Side signature comes out. Not going to knock Tahir out just yet, but Fox Mina able to take down X-Edit.
Tahu gonna be going for the GCD sig, actually hitting grounded. I don't think he necessarily expected that. Sidelight neutral true combo. X-Edit tries to go for a really crazy end sig. I like the idea, keeping himself safe as much as possible and waiting for his teammate. Okay, Tahu eats the recovery. Both members of the red team in a jungle situation, and the recovery comes through. The blue team gonna be taking out one stock. Fox is gonna be off stage, and he fights his way back on. And I can't believe that Tahu connected that neutrally.
Recovery in the air, tries to go for the exhausted recovery too. Tahir getting a little bit swarmed there in the anti-air by X-Edit, who's playing phenomenally right now on this land. But what was that? We're seeing a little bit of an unfortunate friendly fire.
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate there. Okay, Nod comes in there, and then X-Edit almost kind of ends up interrupting the combo, but X-Edit gonna be hitting both members of the red team stacked. That is a lot of damage onto Tahu. That is also a lot of damage onto X-Edit here. Fox eats a neutral recovery. Oh, tries to go through the downer as a dodge read. He wasn't able to get it. The nice counter hit there, and now this is so good for the blue team. Can they get one of them? Can they get one of the members of the red team? Yes, they can. That is Fox out of the game.
And that's going to be Tahir soon to follow. X-Edit and Nad with the first game here under their belt. As we move into the second one, I'm already looking at, are we going to get any legend swaps? I feel like there's a lot of room here for legend swaps. I'm primarily thinking about Tahir going to, I must say right now, we all know it. We're all thinking of it. Tahir, why aren't you on lands? Tahir, we're waiting for the lands. I'll be here waiting. We'll see. We'll see if we get it. So far, he's on this aerial. I know he wants to play Vector. I know he wants to stay on that bow, but get a lance in his hands. We'll see if it happens.
But right now, I have to say I'm impressed with the blue team so far. Not an X-Edit. The combos were good, but I feel like they just caught the red team stack so many times. So many times the red team, they were off stage at the same position at the same time. So many times the red team, they had to land at the same time as one another. So let's see what they're able to do into this game too. X-Edit just immediately target switching. You see Nat with the follow-up with the neutral as well, gonna be picking up the boots now. Sidelight, downer. Fox is gonna be off stage, looking for the end light. Fox is not gonna be able to get back on because Nat is going in on him, dealing so much damage. The counter hit, the recovery, the blue team gonna be able to get the downing as well. Look at the dominance, Polly.
What a good start of the game here. X-Edit doing an amazing job at just taking center stage and knocking away the players, whereas Nad were able to really single them out, especially in terms of those edge guards. You have one guy able to knock them off, and then Nad is able to keep them down there. This is some synergy, some macro synergy, if I've ever seen it, Dora.
Oh, but Fox gonna be fighting back to the best of his abilities here. Okay, he's getting stacked here, he's getting comboed.
Dude, X-Edit is just in his flow game right now. This is insane.
Everything that he's looking for is connecting Tahu. That should have been the jump neutral to be able to punish. Is that going to be the end of non-stock? The answer is no, because it still bounced on the stage. If it was a little further to the right, that might have been it. The red team, they're able to take a breath, but not for too long, because they're both deep into the red, as even as the stock count may be. It is Zariel, it is Terros. They could get a crazy stock, but I think that's already going to be Tahu gone. Fox fighting for his life here.
Recovery. Now Tahir on in the air, able to get back to the ground though. Fox Mina able to cover for their teammate there. Oh, but they try to extend for yet another anti-aerial play. I feel like they're just absolutely grilling both Tahir and Fox Mina right now. They get one opening and they try to go for so many extensions, but Tahir,
but
what a nice opening. But there's the knockout.
that was not worth it because the blue team, they still had another stock left. And just like that, Tahu is out what seems like a little bit too soon. Fox has to fight one stock versus 3 stocks. N-Light, D-Light, so is this going to be it? Sidelight neutral into the recovery. A perfect combo, beautifully executed. Fox and Tahu are suffering. The synergy between Xedit and the synergy between Nod are excellent. They have the combos, they have the interruptions. You know what Tahu and Fox don't have at the moment? They don't really have the interruptions. Oftentimes I'm seeing Fox get hit you know, by like one of the members of the blue team, and Tahu is below him, and he was not actually able to really get a hit to be able to interrupt that. That was a lot of damage that the red team was not able to match. You talked about the lance switch. It's happening.
I have good news. I have good news, chat. We've got Tahir on the Olgrim. Now, I would have liked to see the Vector, but I'll take the Olgrim too. We're gonna see. We're gonna see some of the Lance gameplay coming up from Tahir. I see Foxmean also hovering over the legend pick. So I'm thinking right now they're probably taking a couple of deep breaths, discussing with each other what they can do to adapt here, because we're seeing Foxmean lock in on that same legend. Let's see if they have what it takes.
Yeah, I feel like we didn't get to see any like big Zariel stuff aside from that GC side sig that was super cool. I really like that, but I feel like Gauntlet in the 2 setting, it's just so good at, you know, you can go off stage with it. Zariel has like such an amazing signature kit. We didn't really get to see it KO anytime soon. But now that we have an Olgrim as well as a Telos, they have a ridiculous amount of KO potential. You know, Olgrim Axe D-Sig is so good. It's Olgrim and 2s. He needs no introduction. You already know what Olgrim and 2s is capable of. You know, a little bit self-explanatory at this point. But the question is, can they take a game off of Xedit and Nad, because
like Nad and Xedit, as I was saying, they have super good synergy in the macro gameplay, but being able to have a lot of presence in the game is going to be very, very important, and it could really help Fox and Tahir here. Now neutral light comes out, Tahir unable to get a follow-up there, as Nad would be ready right there to punish him. Xedit able to get that Sarah on the way out, tries to go for a ground pound, and just like that, they're taking control of center stage, and they're able to win in these neutral games again.
There it is again. Fox, but he got both of the blue team members stacked. He's gonna be going off stage, the weapon toss, and then the spike. If he was a little bit above, if he hit the side of the stage, and not exactly, he got hit by the funny angle. He got hit by the diagonal. He was down a little bit too low when he went through the down air, and he threw that stock away. It was gone, and now, all of a sudden, the blue team, I would say they have a lead, but actually they don't. It's still the red team that's ahead.
All right. Let's see. Xedit will get hit by that signature. Is going to be able to charge it up though, so he doesn't knock out his teammate there. Down into red. Tahir able to get that neutralized. Fox with the side signature too. They are really putting themselves on the scoreboard here. Let's see if it'll be enough to carry them to take this to 2-1. Tahir and Foxmean, they're both knocked off stage, but they're going to be able to get back up. Xedit almost going down, and Nad with a nice save.
The save was excellent, and just like that, the blue team is right back in it. Tahu has to find a way to be able to land. The Sealy ended up missing. The neutrally comboed, and just like that, the friendly fire resulted in Fox taking a lot more damage. This Sealy did not actually come through in time. The recovery is not enough to be able to KO off the top of the GC. Side sig was so good. Tahu, oh no, what is happening for the red team? The lead is being slowly dissipated.
Oh,
wait,
he's able to save his teammate though. He's able to save his teammate. All the way down into 208 damage though. He hits the signature. That's going to be the knockout. Gets the recovery here now, 2 on the battle boost. That's going to be Xedit going down though. Almost all of the players down to the final stock. There it is. They have a 1v2 opportunity. Xedit, you're gonna be careful here. He takes a lot of damage, goes all the way down into 60 damage for that.
He covered the fast fall. Xedit went for the jump though, so he did not actually get the lead that he wanted. And now Xedit is back in the game. Sidelight, neutral, N-Light gonna be coming through. Fox has Xedit in a nasty position off stage. The neutral follow up. Oh, but Nad was a little too late with his recovery, and he was not able to combo it successfully.
Stops there. Side signature comes out, not going to be enough to get the knockout. Fox not attempting to get the recovery punish on Xedit there on the offstage either. Gets the nair in the air though. Can they do this?
And
he sends his own teammates. What a combo! But the dare interruption into this air. There it is.
They finally got it. They finally got the interruption that they were looking for, because Nad and X said it up until this point, every single combo basically went unanswered. The red team was not able to interrupt them. And then at the end, when it counted most, when it mattered most, that down air poly was pivotal. It was so important just to be able to get them both back onto the stage, and then just quickly turn that disadvantage into their own advantage. So really nice down air. They have put themselves back into the set. We're not going to be seeing 2 consecutive 3-0s here. And yeah, the switch to the Ulgrim I think was good. I think the Lance put in some work. I like the Ulgrim pick much more than the Zariel.
Absolutely, and I do agree with you. I have a very easy time seeing them eating that set, that game completely, if they were not able to find that unarmed there. So definitely a very pivotal moment. Now we are moving into game 4 here. Is Introvert Tyre and Foxmina able to take this to game 5? I feel like it was a little bit too close for comfort, and I feel like Xedit and Deadly Nad, we're seeing a Legend swap too. We're seeing the Sir Roland come out here, so it might be getting a little bit funky with the signatures too. I'm fearing for Tahir and Foxmina.
Yeah, this is certainly a composition. You know, I feel like we still haven't seen like a lot of crazy King Zuva stuff, but Sir Roland is always just like such a good pick in 2s, because Sword above
so
all
right.
else is consistent. Yeah, and then
Just
the signature
Sir
kit, right?
Sir
Like, it was
Roland
like
and King
South America
Zuba?
that I believe that started using him.
Sir Roland and King Zuba is just such an insane like matchup. These are 2 legends that we barely ever see, and we're seeing them together on a team right now.
Yeah, but Sir Roland in 2s has like become like almost like a niche pick that, you know, it's started to become like a little bit more popular in recent time, and you can tell why, right? Like good weapons, and then also really good signatures in a 2 setting especially. But Xedit was sweating on the way back down. Tahu was not going to be able to get the juggle there. Okay, Fox, getting so
nice
aggressive.
A really nice try with that stomp there, but opponent able to spot dodge in just the right moment there. Now trying to reclaim the stage. Side signature is going to get counter punished by Tahir. Oh, what a nice attempt with that side signature. Foxmina and Tahir, they're kind of popping off right now, Dara. Oh, the DC caught, but it's gonna drop.
No, but that was a really nice way to take that stock out. Now, Xedit, once again, he has been struggling to get back onto stage for quite some time. He is looking for any way to be able to close this out onto Fox, who he has just not had a lot of presence this game so far. The sidelight, he wasn't able to get the sidelight down in the combo, and Fox was just still going to be able to KO him nonetheless. That was not an amazing first stock for Xedit, and now Nad has to find a way to be able to make it back on. I'm surprised that he didn't, the red team member did not go out there threatening with a downer or ground pound, because all he had left was the dodge.
Okay, that's going to be Fox down to their second stock. This is still very possible for Nad and Xedit if they're able to take out Tahir here. If they're able to take him out quickly. You see Xedit trying to target him a little bit while he's on this sword. He's going to eat a side signature for it though, as both of them are getting quite damaged. Able to get a 2-piece. Nad pushing Tahir away. The D-light is a little bit premature though, and the side signature. Foxmina is so good at using these call-out signatures, Dora. How many of them has he used? I've lost count.
Yeah, and all of them have ended up connecting, and the Sider comes out. This is not looking so good of a game for the blue team. It feels like they're constantly split up. They're not really synced up at this point. Xedit, he's going to miss that sidelight. He tries to go in there. He's not going to be able to get the punish in time. Fox is all over them. The downer scoop is finally going to be able to do it. Oh, Nad! Oh my gosh! The sidelight sidesick?
Only combined 90 damage right now onto Nad and Xedit. It is still definitely very possible here if they're able to play a little bit more together. As you were mentioning, Tahir and Foxmina have done such an amazing job at splitting them apart, but we're seeing them really playing well now in the separate 1v1s. We're seeing a completely even out situation right now with Foxmina actually going all the way down into red. Are they able to rack up this damage? We see the D signature. It's not going to connect though. Gets another combo. Tahir is able to punish it.
The layers upon layers, but now it is Fox that is offstage without a weapon. He's threatened by the boots. Oh my gosh, Nad is going to be able to... Oh, the interruption, it failed. The downer didn't end up coming through. Tahu is going to be basically all out of options. What happened for the red team? It was an interruption that was not successful, Polly. He was able to fight that 1v2 to the best of his abilities. He went for the target swap. It was successful. That's the side light. The Xedit with the end light. No cell follow-up.
Let's see, Tahir. Not able to get the landing just yet. He needs to be so careful, and you already see Xedit ready with those neutral signatures. This hair is gonna find the hit, and that is going to be Nad and Xedit advancing in the bracket here. Wow, what a comeback we just witnessed, Darmgar.
Yep. Yeah, so that last stock, I'm going to tell you what happened. There's two big things that had happened. Number one, red team, they got split up. When they got split up, the blue team, they played the individual 1v1s so much better. They constantly had red team playing on the back foot. The second thing that happened, I believe it was Nad edgeguarding. One of them, I believe it was Nad edgeguarding Fox, and Tahu was right behind him with the lance. And he went through the target swap. Tahu ended up missing, I believe it was his side light. He went through the target swap. He ended up getting him off stage, and then there was another missed interruption, and I believe it was Fox the first one to actually go down off stage there. So that like off stage, the edge guard, excuse me, from Nad was super good. That was really nicely done. I think a lot of this game can chalk up to a couple of missed interruptions from the red team. Those missed interruptions, they could have disrupted some really key combos.
For sure, and also blue team being able to really separate them, and they were really winning in the 1v1s towards the very end of that game. And we are going to throw it to a break very shortly. One final thing I want to mention, Darmgar, I found this very funny. On the stat screen after the game, not a single player did more damage than they took. Like, it's almost always for like the losing team, they take more damage than they deal, and the winning team, they deal more damage than they take, right? But everyone took more damage than they dealt, and that's because there was just so much friendly fire. I think it is just so incredibly rare I see something like that. I found it very interesting. Either way, Dara, we're gonna be back right after this break, so guys, don't go anywhere, and we'll be back with more Middle Eastern action for you guys.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Summer Doubles, to the Summer Series Championships. I am Dario, joined by my lovely, incredible, beautiful co-casting, Polly Monto. We are in the Middle Eastern region. We just got to see the winners finals, as well as one of the qualifier matches for the elimination semis. And now we're in elimination semis, where we'll be seeing the previous team, that was Nad and X-Edit, going up against Yellow Flash and AOG.
Yes, this is definitely one of the sets of all time. Last weekend we were talking so much about Yellow Flash 11. We actually never got to cast them, which is why I'm very happy we get to see them now. I have so many questions. What happened to the other 10 Yellow Flashes? AOJ, another player that I also am not too familiar with, although I can tell you right now they're locked in on the board bar, and I'm a big believer of the board bar.
Yeah, so I would say that I don't know a lot about Yellow Flash and AOG. You said you talked a lot about Yellow Flash, excuse me, but I guess that's a cool team name, AO Flash. Tell me a little bit more about Yellow Flash.
Dude, I have no idea other than the fact that their name is funny. I'm gonna be completely honest. Yeah. Both of them, I can tell you right now, both of them, they have played two official tournaments before in the Middle Eastern region, and in both of them they got a 7th. So they have already broken their curse, considering they've gotten a 4th thus far, absolutely confirmed. But if they're able to get any further than that, X-Edit and Nad are here to try and stop them. They've gone 3rd and 5th before. Because they haven't played that many tournaments, we actually have never seen a matchup between these players.
That's right. Yellow Flash is Minato from a certain anime. I believe. I think that's correct. That's what they called him, Yellow Flash. That was Naruto's dad. Okay, and I'm surprised that he's on Telos, because that's not somebody who's really known to be like a fast or do the stuff that he did. I would have expected, I don't know, something like a Petra. But everybody, we're gonna be jumping into game number 1. We have AOG as well as Yellow Flash. They're gonna be opening off. We're seeing a bunch of meta picks, of course, besides the King Zuva. Nat is gonna be sticking to the King Zuva here.
All right. And we already are very acquainted with X-Edit and Nad as we're coming back from the last set. But what is that early knockout by AOJ? That's already Nad going down to their second stock here. Oh, and that's exit to follow Sair into the Sair. What a beautiful momentum they've got through themselves. And that's the full-on team combo. The Dare is missed time, but the Sair is connected too. The recovery?
The recovery comes out.
They're going into another combo, Dora! The Dare misses again. Guys, please go practice the team combo, not twice in a row. How can you miss it twice in a row? That was almost a clip. That was almost on the YouTube Brawlhalla highlight reel.
That was 2 almost clips. But Yellow Flash actually going to be able to make it back on here, is what I would say. Wait a second. Wait, that was a stock onto X Edit? Oh my gosh. The 2v1 is going to be coming through again. The D-Light, the ground pound, the chase dodge in to be able to get back in there. AOG, that is your teammate. Watch out, buddy. Their combos are popping off a little bit too hard at the moment. The neutral, the sider, Nad going in there with the interruption, but it's not going to be enough. What is happening?
AOG and Yellow Flash are popping off. That's what's happening. They're playing so incredibly well in terms of their 2v2 combos, but X-Edit and Nad are able now finally to kind of split them apart here.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're going to stay split apart for long. Nad went all the way out there so deep, able to get the recovery, and then Yellow Flash with the perfectly spaced Sair, able to punish the Sair that was coming in towards him. AOG and Yellow Flash, they opened off hot. They opened off aggressive. Their team combos, even if they ended up dropping the same exact downer 2 times in a row, they had the combos, they had the damage output, and it was just so difficult for Nad and X-Edit to feel like they were even, dare I say, playing the game. They were not allowed to play the game for like the first 50% of it.
Yeah, Yellow Flash and AOJ, I feel like the first thing that we can really take away from this set is that these guys are gonna pick really like aggressive positioning. They're not looking to interrupt combos, they're looking to be the ones to always start them in every encounter that they can get. And they were able to find a lot of conversions and a lot of follow-ups that you really wouldn't expect them to. So Exit and Nad, they're gonna have to be careful here. And this is just such a massive change of pace for them compared to the last game that we're fighting.
Yeah, we're seeing the double
like
switch now. Nad is going to be on the Zol, and we're seeing the return of the Sir Roland. But for the other thing I want to say, especially about Yellow Flash, his reversals were excellent. Every single time that he had somebody going after him, it felt like, hey, wait a second, he's just able to reverse the edge guard in his favor. So let's see if the red team's going to be able to do the same exact thing that they did in the game 1. We're going into game 2. X-Edit with the sidelight downer. Yellow Flash with the neutral. He has X-Edit in the corner. I love that spot dodge, and he's continuing the pressure. He is saying, what, you tried to edge guard me? You tried to go off stage against me? I'm gonna go in on you and I'm gonna make you feel bad. Nad, is he gonna be able to make it back on? And the answer is yes.
Triple platform here also, might I add. AOJ is playing so incredibly well on this hammer, already putting a massive impact onto both of these players. That's Nad almost getting knocked out with that nair. They're able to find the combo. The side signature isn't going to connect though. Just ever so slightly misspaced. The Sair comes out. They're not able to find that knockout.
Okay, the side light Sair comes through. The blue team going to be
much.
keeping themselves. Indeed it is. Yeah, that side sig could have been pivotal for them. And now it is Nad that is sitting Q, holding on to the stock Q for the blue team. Nice interruption. Stomp Sair, is that going to be enough to KO? From across the stage, it is, but it was the Sider that ended up finishing. The Sider was so optimal. Stomp, downer, they're trying to get something going. We're not seeing any big combos from the red team. What is happening on the top?
They are, oh dude, AOJ with this hammer, dude. He is just popping off. He's in his flow state right now. Yellow Flash is also pulling, is also doing well here. Able to find that knockout, gets the recovery, tries to get the funny angle with the dare. Massive commitment by Yellow Flash, but he's able to get back onto the stage. These guys are playing higher risk, higher reward right now.
Yeah, and they're getting a lot of the reward at the moment. But right now, AOG, that's going to be one stock more gone. Now he's going to be sitting on the last stock. Yellow Flash comes back on so aggressively, getting so many hits onto X-Edit, and you definitely don't want Terrace to be connecting that many hits. The D-Light neutral was still not enough to take it off the top. Yellow Flash is able to get the N-Light, the target switch. AOG going to be dropping the neutral follow-up, goes through the D-Sig, but the D-Light recovery is enough to take it off the top. Stomp Sair again. Nad missed the punish.
Let's see. Stomp Sair comes out yet again, and that's going to be the side signature to close things out. That's 2-0 on the board now, Dora. I'm going to say right now, am I insane for thinking that this is some of the crispest hammer gameplay in terms of 2v2 and in terms of their positioning and movement that I've seen in a while? This is crazy.
Yeah. It's very good. It's very accurate. It's very precise. You know, Hammer is just like one of those weapons. Like, yeah, your hitboxes are big, but they can be a little bit clunky, can be a little bit difficult to connect sometimes. Yellow Flash has been proficient with it. Everything that he was looking for has been connecting. Every single follow-up. You know, especially once again, every single reversal. They didn't get as crazy of combos as they did last time around. There was a couple of dropped punish attempts from the blue team, specifically that cannon sighted at the end. Yellow Flash, he just saw, you know, the whiff sail in front of him, and he was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just going to stomp sail you for, you know, missing your cannon sighter directly in my face. So, you know, a little bit of high risk, a little bit of high reward, and they're getting a lot of reward for this poly.
Absolutely. Now, there's one thing I gotta mention too. It is that I just gotta say, Nad and X-Edit, they were 73% on the prediction. So this is really like people did not know what Yellow Flash and AOJ were all about. I'm trying to figure out who they went down to in the bracket.
Yeah, we'll just have to find that out. But in the meantime, we have the start of yet another game. Nat going to be opening off hot here, able to connect the side stick. AOG going out there. Oh my gosh, he's keeping the pressure onto Nad. X-Edit is trying to do something against Yellow Flash here. The stomp sail again. X-Edit is off stage, but the recovery does put himself back on. Not taking any more hits out there, but that is another stock gone. Oh my gosh, what is happening to Nad? What is going on? The sail stage spike, the sail again. Yellow Flash's accuracy is incredible. X-Edit ended up saving him. If he recovered in the other direction, I don't think it would have connected. His edge guard attempt, it was futile. It was gone. It was all thrown away.
Recovery comes out. Able to get back onto the stage here. Now, I do have news. They went down to Levito and Kazumi. That's who they lost to, which Kazumi is a very, very good Lance player. So definitely not bad players that they were knocked out by.
Yo, look at Yellow. Look at Yellow Flash. Look at Yellow Flash. You can't keep your eyes off of him for even 1 second. He was hunting. He was hungry. He has Nat on his last stock now. That is AOG and Yellow Flash on 2 stocks apiece, and they're not stopping anytime soon. I'm sorry that they're the only ones I'm talking about right now because they're just doing so much.
They're just so good. They're literally just so good. I mean, X-Edit and Nad, they're playing well too, but it's starting to look grim for them. They're gonna need to really lock in here. That's a Seer. Massive call out. That's going to be now completely knocked out. X-Edit just having to fend for himself here. This is such fast gameplay too. I feel like the set just started. The game just started. X-Edit, 2 minutes into it, he's all alone. He gets set up with the combo. Are they gonna be able to find it? They connect the dare. They broke the curse. They're able to hit a 2v2 combo. Dara, side signature almost knocking out your own teammate. We're getting a little bit funky here. We're trying to have fun here in the last seconds of the game.
Yeah, but they can have all the fun that they want because they are up 4 stocks to 1. I don't know if there's anything that X-Edit can do at this point. He's doing anything he can to be able to come back on. AOG not going to be able to get the recovery that he was looking for. Okay, that's something. But stomp recovery, excuse me. Is this going to be enough? He gets a reversal. This is Yellow Flash gone to his last stock.
Okay, I mean, okay, there it is. There it is. Okay, 3-0 on the board. Yellow Flash. I mean, I already know, Dara. I already know Yellow Flash is your MVP, but 611 damage with 4 knockouts. Also, I gotta mention for everyone in chat right now who can't see the game, X-Edit and Nad are like spamming the well-played emote. I don't know why everyone in the Middle Eastern region are so incredibly nice to each other.
Yeah, they have that community, they have that bond, but congratulations to Yellow Flash and AOG. They're going to be moving on throughout the bracket. The thing I really want to talk about is Yellow Flash. It felt like every single hit that he was looking for ended up connecting. And even though he didn't really have like the most weapon accuracy, I think, between, all the players, it felt like every single hit that he was looking for counted. He didn't drop a single edge guard. He spaced out all of his siders, every single axe sider, every single hammer sider, in the positions that he needed. They all connected. So he didn't drop them. He had the follow-ups. They had the combos. They looked super aggressive. And so I'm excited to see how they do moving on into the eliminations finals.
Yeah, they were looking incredibly strong. Now, I gotta mention, of course, let's not have too much recency bias here. Yellow Flash was playing amazingly in that game, and he definitely was the MVP of that team. However, I really think in the game prior, AOJ was really, really carrying in terms of the offstage gameplay. Yellow Flash was still looking a little bit stronger on the onstage, but AOJ's hammer offstage is a force to be reckoned with, and I have never seen players make hammer look that easy in 2v2. And there are two hammer entrepreneurs on the same team. It was a really, really fun to see what they were able to do. We are gonna watch another game right now though, and it is going to be some old friends. It's Heavy and Itami. Now, another thing in terms of speaking of recency bias, you might think Heavy and Itami, wait, those were the guys that got destroyed, right? Yeah, but they got destroyed by the best team in the region. We don't know how these guys look. We have no idea what their gameplay is gonna look when they're fighting humans.
I'm not gonna lie, Itami and Heavy in the winning side, I don't think they got a real chance to play the game too much. There is a reason that they were able to make it all the way into, of course, the winners final side of things. So I feel like now is gonna be the chance that we get to see them actually play. The channel points right now, they're going back and forth. Oh my god, as soon as we said that, everybody put all of their channel points into Itami and Heavy. And just like that, now that I've manipulated the bets, I'm going to put 10,000 of my own channel points onto Yellow Flash and AOG.
Wow. You wanna know something crazy? I have 160k channel points because doing the predictions is illegal in my country. Anyways, we're moving into the game. As we were just mentioning, it's going to be Heavy and Itami. I really cannot stress this enough. You might think Heavy and Itami are bad players, but you haven't seen them fight mortals yet, okay? Seeing them against Yellow Flash and AOJ, this is a matchup that I'm very, very excited about. Now, however, I'm actually not sure if it is a matchup that has happened before. I can't immediately recall seeing this matchup myself. It has actually happened. It was in the Spring Championship, and that one went to Itami and Heavy, so they have a winning history here. I do also want to mention, of course, AOJ and Yellow Flash, they are on a 7th curse, and they're not even top 10 PR. AOJ is PR number 10. AOJ and Yellow Flash, I feel like it's obvious that these guys are upcoming players, and their PR doesn't really reflect where they are at right now. And so if that was played like several months ago, this could be a very different dynamic right now.
Yeah, but today they're looking fantastic. They're looking indomitable at the moment. So I'm excited to see how they're going to do. We already know what they're so good at, especially the reversals, especially winning the respective 1v1s, and especially those ridiculous combos. So the question is, Itami and Heavy, do you have it in you to be able to interrupt those combos, to be able to stop it before it happens? Because especially the double hammer combos are ridiculous. The downer into the recovery, right? It's like one of the few weapons that I feel like they're able to just like sort of like pass them up and down between each other, and they're just able to deal so much damage, as you can imagine, especially with a Telos on the screen.
Yeah, I feel like being able to do a lot of damage for sure. One of the strengths of Hammer, and as you were mentioning, with being able to bounce them around like that, is I want to say the ability to funnel players, right? You can really funnel them wherever you want. Like 2 down airs in a row can really send you out quickly. 2 side airs in a row too. They're just, it's a weapon that synergizes with itself really well, and there's not a lot of, there's really not. I want to say, is there any other weapon where it has crazy synergy with itself? Maybe Gauntlets? Other than that, I'd say Hammer is like one of the best ones at that.
Hold on. The channel points are off. Polly, really quickly, we got to start talking about Itami and Heavy again because it's totally even at the moment. So here's why I think Itami and Heavy are going to win, and why everybody should put their channel points into Itami and Heavy. Hold on. I was still coming up with it. Oh yeah, they made it all the way to winners finals. They made it. Listen, I didn't get to see them play today. I did not get to see them play today yet. Okay, we got to see them in winners finals. And the opponents were really tough customers. Okay, so it was a little bit difficult for them. Who did they take it in the semis side of things? They took it over Sky BH and COMR. It seems, and
Comer.
then up until that point, Comer. That's. But everybody, I think in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and jump on over to a quick little break. We're gonna go ahead and watch a quick little video while we wait everybody to jump on into the lobbies. So we'll see you all in just a few minutes.
No KO
options, does get the sidelight, but Hughes still in the orange. There's the GC side sig. It's instantly punished from Hughes, and he is your two-time Brawlhalla 1v1 world champion.
Wanna know something crazy? You're not the first person that's
The ball stage, the ground pound, no, there's not gonna be one, but Gosling could not connect on the wall. And GC taunted him.
That's a battle pass challenge. That's one for it. That's crazy. He did it.
Unlocked.
Don't know what somebody told you. It's probably best if you don't move. Just stay.
Kinda now in the center of the stage, misses the end light.
Look at that boy move.
Experience can only hit stairs, and now he's disarmed. Weapon spawn comes in, he's got the gun. He gets the side air. Can he get the edge guard on the Loris? Loris makes it back. He gets the stairs. Is that gonna be it?
It should be. He won't be able to touch. And Kaina and Lores are going to be your BCX 2024 doubles champions.
What is up, Brawlhalla, and welcome back. This is Summer Doubles Championship. But before we go into our main event, we have something really important to talk to you guys about. It is BCX. It is the place where all Brawlhalla fans and all Brawlhalla competitors unite once a year. It is our holy grounds, and we want you there, especially if you're a competitor. Dara, how do you feel?
I love BCX. BCX is, as we always say, a celebration of Brawlhalla, right? But BCX is for everybody. It is for your family. It is for your friends, even for people that, you know, aren't necessarily the most invested in the competitive scene. It is an incredible vibe. You get to sit in the audience that gets loud. Yeah, that's right. It's for everybody, you know? So there's always like games to play. There's always like arcade games at the venue. Guys, sign up. You can just come in as a spectator. You can get the VIP if you want to feel nice and special and good about yourself as well. You even get an in-game title, okay? That's, you know, that's a pretty big deal around these parts. So go ahead and go to BCX, my friends. Definitely something that you want to sign up for. We can both attest, not just because, you know, we're commentators for Brawlhalla, but we can both attest to just how good of a time BCX is every single time. Now, my friends, we're jumping on over into elimination finals. Itami and Hebi got knocked down from the winner's side. Yellow Flash and AOG have been fighting their way through the elimination side. And this is going to be the first set that we have seen Itami and Hebi have a chance to play. That is not us discrediting them. That is us saying how ridiculously good Poe and Fixel were on the winner's side.
Yeah. Someone put in 300k on Yellow Flash and AOJ, by the way, so there goes your manipulation, Dara. Either way, we are jumping right back into things here. It's going to be Yellow Flash and AOJ on the same picks that we know and love them for. Tommy and Heavy too, so we're seeing classic picks from everyone here. Let's see what happens. We're seeing already a bit of a combo.
Oh, they caught them stacked.
Oh, what a combo! That's so good, dude. That's so clean. They didn't take any damage. Nah. I actually got chills. I got chills from that combo.
Chills, that's right. Well, they look like a couple of pancakes. They got stacked, and now Itami and Heavy, they are all over them. The aggression, but the end light interruption, that was so nice, that was so clean. Yellow Flash, sidelight neutralizer, Sari tries to go for the downer, D-Sig as well. Oh my gosh, Yellow Flash and AOG, they are not counted out of the game quite yet. The recovery is gonna come through. Heavy is gonna probably go down. The weapon throw, ground pound, the double. Okay, I love that. AOG and Yellow Flash, they just brushed that off. They brushed that off and they're still fighting.
Okay, able to get a little bit of a combo started on Yellow Flash. Not able to get the knockout just yet, though. The down signature sliding off is going to be enough. Now AOJ, only player here on their second stock in the red team. They are going to get swiftly knocked out by Tommy, though. AOJ and Yellow Flash, they were looking solid. It was looking like they were going to be able to get a comeback, but Tommy and Heavy, just as quickly as they took that first stock, they balanced things out here once again, maintaining their full stock lead.
Oh, the downer gonna be coming through. AOG, I mean, you gotta say, the red team, they're still trying their best, but how do they keep getting caught stacked this often? It is a bit of concern. Love the D-Light as a jump call out. Okay, Yellow Flash looking for a jump call out of his own here. Side Sig gonna be coming through. AOG, no interruption, no punish. Side Sig, is that gonna be enough to take out the stock? Yes, it is. I think this game one is done. Blue team, Itami and Hebi, they ran all over them. They caught them stacked. They caught them stacked, and their combo was incredible. Yellow Flash and AOG, they did the best that they could to come back from that, but I don't think there's any coming back like that.
That is so incredibly quick. That is insane. And what a first stock, what a team combo we were able to see there, Dara. Dara, I'm gonna call you out right now. I'm gonna call you out right now on the live stream. You haven't casted ME that many times, and so before we went live, you didn't even really know what to expect. You were like, I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy watching these games here. I don't really know how to feel about this. I told you that the games are insane. I told you that the players are insane. How do you feel right now?
You're right. A little bit silly. That's right. Most of my experience on Fridays has just been like mostly for like Southeast Asia, so I don't normally get to see Middle East. Okay, I wasn't trying to be mean. I'm sorry. I don't get to see. I don't know these things. Yellow Flash.
You don't know
now
they're
I'm gonna
the
be on the
goats.
test cook here. I don't know, but now I know. Now, okay, my eyes have been opened. I'm watching the game. I've been called out on broadcast. Everybody, please don't hate me. But now we're going into game 2. Let's see if the switches are going to do anything for the red team here. But the blue team, again, their combos were.
Okay, already with another combo. Dude, it's Tommy and Heavy. They need to be stopped. Oh, that's what just happened on the what is happening? What is even happening on the offstage anymore? I cannot follow these players. Okay, that's yet another knockout already. Basically even out. Heavy, only player on their third stock here. They're able to get a little bit of a combo started here too. Okay. GC sideline comes out. AOJ able to get the neutral light. Heavy now. Trying to look for that Seer. Very even out here. The key player right here is Heavy. He's the one player with the 3 stocks. 112 damage here. He's going to be able to be a little bit more aggressive too, right? On that cannon. He has that extra stock that he can basically afford to lose, right? You also have Heavy doesn't want to tank too hard because then he knows he's going to be stuck in a 1v2. So I feel like going a little bit more aggressive here is definitely a way to ensure that you're going to be on an even pace with your teammates. But AOJ doesn't want any of that. He's going to be able to get a quick knockout here. And he's able to get a quick knockout, even things out. It's Tommy quite damaged. AOJ and a Yellow Flash. They're going to be able to find that second knockout. Goes down for the dare. That's going to get it. Heavy getting some revenge hits, but it doesn't get a lot. There's the one to neutralize. Yellow Flash able to get that Seer in on the battle boots. And Tommy trying to look for some anti-airs. G-Seed is going to find that, but it's not going to be a knockout just yet. They're looking so solid in the neutral. Nice nair coming out from AOJ. He got them both with that sideline, but he messes up the combo. Going for the neutral light instead. That's what happens if you aren't able to get your jump out. Now,
Okay.
it's Tommy, very damaged, down in orange here.
That's right. AOG, oh my gosh, he's gonna get interrupted. He goes out there through the side. Sig, the Seer is gonna be able to come through. Itami is now gonna be out of the game. This is a very doable 2v1 for the red team.
Oh, nice dare.
Oh, no.
Oh, I
What's
really
happening?
love the idea by Heavy there. Oh, but the second attack is going to be enough. Heavy going down to the final stock. If he was able to find that GCD light, that could basically, that could be done the deal for the red team.
It would have been everything. Yeah, that would have been absolutely everything. It would have been over. But now,
So key.
okay, the friendly fire, that's not what you want to see here. Heavy was able to take advantage of it. Yellow Flash is sweating, but then so is Heavy. The neutral follow-up, it wasn't actually successful. They need to get a nice clean combo, but Heavy is playing as evasively as possible.
Okay, Heavy on this cannon. Let's see if he's able to make it back to the stage. The ground pound is going to hit, and he didn't get the touch.
Yeah, not going to be able to touch, indeed. AOG and Yellow Flash, they're going to be able to take that game 2. I ended up missing a chunk of it because I unfortunately disconnected. So, Paulie, what were some of your thoughts about that game 2?
Honestly, they were just able to clean it up really, really well. We're able to see it here on the here on the replays. One key thing that happened was Heavy always. I mean, not only in the end here, he got stuck in this 1v2 because he was doing such a better job at staying alive compared to Itami. Itami could definitely be a little bit more careful, try and stick to those stocks a little bit more. Another thing that I have to bring up is I'm very, very impressed by Yellow Flash and AOJ. I mean, we were hyping up their hammer gameplay for so long. there's not a hammer on the screen. There's not a single hammer on the screen right now. This is completely different game plan, completely different gameplay, and they are still looking just as strong as before. I mean, I don't like it as much because I'm a massive hammer enjoyer, but like they're really making it work. They're showing that they're definitely not one-trick ponies.
Oh my gosh, but everybody's getting caught in the mix. All the hits are being exchanged. Tommy somehow already has 122 damage, and it is climbing in the orange. Heavy is off stage. Tommy is off stage. Yellow Flash goes out there. AOG not going to be able to get the pivot and light that he needed a target swap. Tommy, that neutral could have been everything. Heavy commits to the ground pound. He is still somehow able to make it back on, but then the side sig comes through. Oh, Heavy was spaced a little too close to the stage. The signature wasn't able to spike successfully. The red team has a lead. He was able to get it that time around. AOG, I don't think he makes it back on.
That's going to be them knocked out now. Heavy trying to find that neutral signature. The Nair is going to hit, and instead they're able to catch that landing off of Yellow Flash. They aren't. The recovery is going to hit them instead. Let's see if they're able to find these knockouts here. I feel like the next player to find a knockout here is going to be a very, very important lead here.
Nicely done, Tommy with the peak support. That was Tommy coming in there, looking at his teammate and saying, wait a second, I gotta help him out instead of focusing on my 1v1. And it paid off. The ground pound comes through. AOG is not gonna be able to make it back on. And just like that, that is 2 more stocks gone. AOG on his last, Yellow Flash on his second. Tommy and Heavy, they have a good lead.
What an incredible turnaround. AOJ with a ground pound though, able to even things out just a little bit. Now here it's going to be AOJ, only player down to the final stock, is going to have to play quite carefully. Wanted to catch both of the players in a team combo there. Unfortunately, only catching one of them. Now let's see.
And he is playing quite carefully, but Heavy in a nasty position off stage. The ground pound didn't spike because he got hit by the side of it, so he just ended up getting popped upwards. Heavy with the sidelight, so downer. GC sidelight, is that going to be enough to KO? Yes, it is. AOG, all of a sudden, he was so healthy. That started in the white, that started in the beige. His stock was gone. It melted, Polly.
That's going to be one knockout though. Neutral signature comes out. Yellow Flash is not going to give this one up easily. Neutral signature is going to miss though. It's Tommy and Heavy, I'm going to say it right now. They're having some problems on their team combos. I'm seeing some conversions that should be quite easy for them to get. I mean, that Wushang neutral signature is difficult to get, but we're seeing it one prior. Tommy able to get that Nair in. One stocks for all of the players now, completely fresh. It's going to be so difficult for Yellow Flash, but it is definitely doable. We're seeing him punished. Oh, throwing out the emotes too. Oh, we're seeing a little bit of a lag actually.
Yeah, let's see what's gonna happen.
No?
Yeah,
I'm so confused.
They're fighting.
They thought he was lagging. They thought he was lagging. I'm pretty sure they actually thought he was lagging. Another team coming. This is karma. This is karma. Wow. What is going on, Dora? I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I can only imagine they thought he was lagging and they were trying to respect, and then they comboed.
Polly, that team combo was kind of ridiculous. You know, it comboed into the signature at the end. The cannonball explosion at the end actually connected.
Yeah.
That was like one of the last active frames of it. That was...
Let's see.
That was crazy.
Dude. Yeah. What like we're seeing some disrespect there. I'm pretty sure he didn't want them to think that he was lagging. I don't actually think that was his master plan. I think they were just doing like the
he was just emoting
talks.
To disrespect. Yeah. He was just having fun.
Yeah, we were seeing it. We were seeing the arcade emote. He wanted to emote back, and then they thought he was lagging. He started hitting them, and then they just instantly comboed him. Yeah.
That game could have been super different. There was that offstage interaction between Yellow Flash and Itami. And Yellow Flash, he like ended up, I think he was like committing to like a weapon throw or something. And then he was like kind of left weaponless against gauntlets. That could have been a really pivotal moment. You know how tricky boots can be offstage, especially with downer, especially with ground pound. You know how scary Cider can be in its reversal potential. But then left weaponless against gauntlets, that's going to be Itami, of course, in a favorable position. So we're now going to be moving on. That is Heavy and Itami with a 2-1 lead in the game count. The combos are looking really good. Yellow Flash and AOG. What happened for them last game? Because it felt like it was doable. It was that one cannon combo, Polly. That one cannon combo erased AOG from existence. Absolutely obliterated him, which is so unfortunate because Red Team was on the verge of an amazing comeback, and I need them to make the comeback because my channel points are on the line. But no bias. Itami and Heavy, they're playing phenomenal at the moment.
Yeah, I gotta mention, I talked trash about Itami and Heavy's team combos, and then they hit something like that. I definitely take everything back. They still got it, guys. They definitely still got it. I gotta say, one key thing about Heavy and Itami that I'm noticing is that they get like 80% of their damage 20% of the time. Like, they are playing the game in such like concentrated bursts of like really, really good gameplay. If AOJ and Yellow Flash, they are able to play stronger in the between those bursts, they're still definitely very doable for them.
Oh, but Yellow Flash, the GC Light, it was still going to be able to catch Heavy. They made it back on, and that's the ground pound. That was such a good idea. We're seeing a gauntlet battle off stage, and AOG is going to be the one winning because Itami gets sent all the way back down, and Yellow Flash says, hey, I got gauntlets of my own. The downer was not going to be able to connect with the side of the stage. That's also going to be Heavy going down here. Oh my god.
Can we please talk about interrupting our ground pound with a cannon in air while in the magnifying glass? What is that? While in the magnifying glass, you have no idea of how far away they are, except he does. That's a double knockout. We're completely even out. Why are these guys so even?
Because they're clean and they're consistent, they're tight, and Yellow Flash held onto the dodge. He was able to spot dodge, and he makes it back on. Yes, he does. Heavy covered to the left. Yellow Flash went up and around. He's not going to get cannon comboed this time around.
All right, let's see. Oh, able to hit that recovery. Tries to go for the second one. Itami able to work his way around, though. Able to hit that neutral light punish.
Wow.
Heavy trying to go for something on this cannon. Goes for the ground pound. That's good to be the flash. No options. He has time to go down for the save though. That was so close. Heavy wanted to go for the retaliation. They're still both sent off stage. AOJ able to take the stage back with that Sarah though.
That save was everything. The Light is not going to be enough to KO, but Heavy's in a really good position, but he just decides to play it safe. Yellow Flash makes it back on, and oh my god, he is still somehow in the game. He gets a neutral onto Itami. Heavy's going out there. He's trying to save his teammate. The recovery was not enough to be able to KO off the top. The Light, Heavy ends up missing his GCD Light. How is Yellow Flash still alive?
Yellow Flash is doing such a good job at staying alive here. 190 damage taken. Neutral Light comes out. That's him down to 205 damage now, but it's still so even. It's only Itami trailing behind a little bit here. Orange on his last stock, but AOJ is getting damage too. It's completely even, Dora.
AOG has to play so safe here, and so does Itami. That is now Yellow Flash knocked down to his last stock. AOG, he needs to go back on, but he wants to go for the reversal off stage, and that is now going to be Heavy, knocked down to his last stock as well. The 2v1, are they going to be able to get it? Are they going to be able to set it up? And they cannot. This is totally even, but AOG has to be careful.
The dare comes out. Oh, for the full-on commitment, but the weapon throw is going to interrupt.
His own teammate,
options to get back.
Itami. Yellow Flash is able to get the side in. Itami, though, he's going to clean up AOG off the top. This is doable for Yellow Flash, but he's looking at Itami. He's looking at Itami, and he's able to get the KO off the top. And we begin another combo. The GC sidelight wasn't effective. The ground pound comes out. Yellow Flash, he was a little bit too healthy. Not going to be scary enough.
Yellow Flash in the 1v1 here for game 5. It's going to be their tournament stock, but Heavy is popping off on this sword. We're seeing the neutralites, we're seeing the nairs, we're seeing the recoveries onto the cannon now. The nair is going to be enough to get the knockout, and that is going to be 3-1 for what is going to be, I'm going to say it right now, this is the craziest set that we've had thus far. For the replays, I really need to see this interrupt. Please tell me we get to see the interrupt.
Please.
Oh,
yeah,
the cannon there, that's so clean, dude, that's so crazy.
So there was an offstage situation that was not necessarily great for Yellow Flash and AOG. Well, I believe it was AOG's own weapon toss that ended up hitting Yellow Flash and interrupting it. And that could have been a really pivotal stock offstage. And then I think also Heavy and Itami. You know, it's not even necessarily about like the really big team combos. It was just sometimes like the occasional like two pieces, right? That they needed just to be able to close out the stock. They really covered each other's backs exceptionally well. well. And then every now and then, Heavy, he just exploded quite literally with the cannon. His cannon strings ended up dealing so much damage, Polly.
Yeah, for sure. One thing I gotta mention too. One thing I have to mention yet again. These guys being so incredibly wholesome. Even after winning like that, Itami and Hebi. I think it was Hebi said in chat, "Bro, I'm scared for autumns." Like
Yeah.
this team is definitely making a name for themselves in the ME region. Now, guys, we have left the very best for last. It's going to be Fixel and Poe playing up against Hebi and Itami for the rematch. The first team in 2 tournaments straight to take down a single game from Fixel and Poe. Only time will tell. We're gonna see you guys right after this short break.
For the summer doubles, it is Polly, it is myself, the Emperor, and now we have the pleasure, we have the honor of bringing to you grand finals. We have had quite a bracket path to be able to get up until this point, and we're going to be ending off the day just as we have begun here in this region. We're going to be seeing Fixel and Poe on a second consecutive perfect tournament run from the previous doubles tournament into today, where they're going up against Itami and Hebi once more. In the winners final side of things, Hebi and Itami, I'm gonna say it, you're gonna say it, they got a little bit smoked. Fixel and Poe, they looked completely and totally indomitable. In the elimination side, we got to see Hebi and Itami do exceptionally well against Yellow Flash and AOG. We got to see some incredible combos, but the question now is, Polly, not can they take the set, can they take a game and disrupt this perfect, potentially consecutive back-to-back tournament run with not a single game dropped?
Now, I've got to say, and I was saying this on the before we went live too, I want to address the elephant in the room. This is the first time that Itami is getting a silver medal. Hebi has gotten 2 silver medals before. This is the first time that Itami is getting a single medal, and it's the first time they're getting a medal together. So it is already a massive accomplishment for them. They are fighting the strongest powerhouse in ME right now, one of the most dominant teams in the entire game right now for the respective region, of course. And as you were saying, I mean, are they going to be able to win the set? I'm going to say this. Let's think in terms of baby steps. Let's start thinking about can they win a game, and then we'll start thinking about if they can win a set.
And we'll be getting, my friends, game number 1 of the grand finals, the potential last or potential 2 final sets of today, depending on how the red team does. And Light, D-Light still going to be coming through. Poe with neutral, D-Light landing immediately as well. That is already so much damage dealt onto Itami. Sidelight neutral, Hammer neutral, the side almost came through again. The combos are coming through. You see Poe playing support on the back line. He's able to get the sale. Now Fixel. What's it going to be? The neutral is not enough to KO off the top, but the red team, this is a repeat of what we saw in winners finals, Polly.
Oh, that's so clean by Hebi, going for the GCD light and then target swaps here instead of finishing the true combo. Really, really creative stuff. Now Fixel and Poe on their way to getting this second knockout onto Hebi. There it's going to be. Quick 1v2 now. Itami's going to have to be careful.
And he was very careful. He was able to avoid it. We have seen the 2v1 combos that Poe and Fixel could put out. And they're once again winning the respective 1v1s until Itami was just able to take it off the side. And guess what? Hebi in a very good position as well. Itami's going to be able to land a ground pound. Is this enough? He doesn't even need the pogo, as Poe does not touch.
On a very, very quick side point, Poe and FXL, 92% on the channel point prediction.
Oh,
Fixel
whoa,
going all the way up into the air for that recovery.
All the way to the top last zone. He was able to get it. He was able to steal that one away. And Itami is not going to be able to make it back on. Sidelight, nuclear, that is so much damage. Hebi, fight back. Fight back, Hebi. Fight back, Hebi. Sidelight, a kick, a downer. He wants to go for the double. Oh, but look at the position that he's in off stage now. He just ended up throwing away his own stock.
Sidelights, there you go. They're 4 stocked. I mean, Fixel and Poe. Like, I'm telling you, dude, Hebi and Itami, they're literally the second best team in the tournament. They're so incredibly good. But I mean, you're not fighting mere mortals anymore. It's honestly insane. And I said this prior, I'm gonna say it again. I said this in the winter finals. I think this is partly a mental block. Like Fixel and Poe, they're playing incredibly good, but they have so much aura. And I feel like if Hebi and Itami just had the confidence to try and disrespect them a little bit more, they could definitely do a lot more here.
That's a good point, but honestly, how do you continue to interrupt these combos from, of course, Poe and Fixel, because they are looking completely and totally indomitable. We're going to be seeing Heavy switch on over to the Onyx now, to the Titan crossover. So we'll see how the Onyx pick is actually going to work out here. You know, I don't know if it's necessarily a matter of the Legends, but we'll see how this next game goes. We'll be going to Miami Dome this time around. Let's see what we got.
Let's see. Poe already with dude! What is going on?
Dude.
8 seconds into the game, that's a 0 to knockout, and Poe is going for a second one! He's going for a second one! Why is Poe so
He
good
needs
at
it.
cannon? I don't get it. Poe is John, honestly, generational cannon player. He's a generational cannon player.
Yeah, he's doing phenomenal. He's catching every single option. Down to the ground pound almost came through, but Tommy was able to dodge up and in. The recovery coming through just in time before the cannon ground pound again. But Fixel is swinging. Fixel's going to be able to make it back on. He's playing behind his teammate. He's trying to cover up and above, but Tommy is going to be able to find just the very tip of the ground pound to be able to knock out Poe. But Itami, he's already down so deep. You just have to sneeze on him as Teros, and he's going to explode.
Okay, let's see if they're able to finish these stocks off. We see one Sarah Fixel going all the way for the offstage, and Tommy and Heavy able to get a couple of hits on him though. And I mean, I'm liking this so far. Heavy and Tommy, they're not letting that very explosive initial play from Poe get into their head, pushing a messed up combo.
Messed up combo, the friendly fire, and just like that, Itami is knocked down to his last stock. Heavy is on 3 stocks, not even 2 stocks yet. Onyx, of course, very bulky, high defense, gonna live until the last possible second. Here's the 2v1. D-Light, no combo into the sail. That's a lot of damage dealt onto Itami. Itami is suffering. Itami needs help.
No, that's it, you're knocked out. Just like that, you're knocked out, and it's Heavy alone now against Fixel and Poe. 2 stocks against 4, and I mean, this is going to be basically impossible. We see the neutralize into the GC D-Light ground pound. Tries to get a ground pound for himself there. Recovery's gonna hit their teammate, unfortunately.
Yeah, but at this point, honestly, this is looking so good for the blue team. The sidelight recovery is able to come through, not enough to be able to KO off the top. It is still Onyx at the end of the day, but that end light with those resources gone, this should be the end of Heavy stock, and yes, it will be. The ground pound is going to be able to find the connection. Fixel and Poe, you can't stop them. You just can't stop them.
You just can't stop them. And now let's see if they're able to make something happen on this axe hammer setup. Heavy is playing a lot more patiently. I'm seeing Fixel whiffing a little bit, mashing a little bit. Yeah, you might have to be a little bit careful here. Heavy could try and find some punishes, and I mean, you definitely can't count anyone out before it's over, so might want to be a little bit more careful. Sidelight comes out, the Sayers is going to connect. Need to find something onto Heavy here to rack up that damage. The sidelight there is going to get some damage.
But Fixel is just frontlining so well. Heavy's not going to be able to find any openings. The weapon toss is not going to be able to come through, but the sail is enough to touch, but Fixel's still in a position to find the ground pound that he needs. Itami, my friend, Itami, my heart breaks for Itami. Itami just disappeared. Itami, every single time they get a fresh stock.
Yeah, it's against the Tommy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then literally right afterwards, we didn't get to see it on the replay, but Poe right after hitting that almost got a second 0 to knockout. If he got that 0 to knockout, it could honestly be like top 10 clips all time for me.
Yeah, that was just so much damage. They were absolutely relentless. They were making both of the respective forces work. I mean, you can see both of them have 9 force each. There's just so much damage. And now we're seeing Heavy return to the Sidra. The question is, once again, Itami and Heavy. We're not talking about sets. Can we get a game in? Or are you
Can we get a game?
Can we get a game, please? Or is it just going to be Fixel and Poe with a double perfect tournament run?
Back to back. Perfect tournament. Poe and Fixel are looking to be one of, if not the only team to ever do it. Let's see if they're able to. Poe able to get a very nice punish off of that GC indeed with the sidelight there. Gets a second one too with Fixel covering for him. Oh, but he gets the touch and the spike. Oh, but he makes it back.
Well, he knew that it wasn't his turn. He knew that he couldn't immediately go in, and so he just waited for his opponent to just immediately mash something out. That was such a good wait. The end light, the stop downer. Itami, you gotta stop suffering, man. You can't keep doing this to him. Please let him play the game. Let him play the game.
This is insane. Let's see. Oh, the ground pound is going to take Itami out, though. The second one is going to definitely do it. There it is. Heavy going down for the save. It don't even matter when you're up against Poe, man. He's going to go down there again for you.
Okay. And Light's going to be able to come through. Poe. He's threatening Itami. You see how Itami is absolutely petrified, but he's still fighting back. He's still fighting through. It's fight or flight, and right now he's all fight. Running away this time around. Not going to be able to interrupt the combo. Poe tries to come back in. Not going to be able to get the ground pound. Itami side light, D light. He's eating that damage. He is going further and further into the yellow here.
Let's see. Dare is going to get that knockout. That's 5 stocks against 2. Itami and Heavy. Are you going to be able to get a single game against this powerhouse of a team? We get 2 knockouts coming out. Poe, only player now with the stock advantage, and Itami, very damaged to on that last stock.
Heavy not going to be able to get the downer that he was looking for. He's playing back here. He's just looking for the end light opening. He's able to get it. The downer reversal. Poe's in a nasty position, but he still is able to make it back onto the stage. Itami is out of the game, potentially out of the set. It is 3 stocks to 1. Heavy, I don't know if he has it in him, Polly. I think this is going to be all Poe and Fixel.
It's going to be very, very difficult for sure. Heavy. Oh, we're seeing the D-Lights, GC D-Light come out the dare into Sair. Poe almost able to find that knockout. Fixel now looking to find a stomp Sair here. Poe throwing out some GC D-Lights of his own. The D-Light there, it's not going to be enough. Fixel goes to the offstage, but Heavy finds the ground pound. He's still in the game. 1 stock against 2 right now. It is a 1v1. It's doable, but Poe is just a couple of hits away. The Sair comes out. It's gonna throw him so far away. The weapon throw with the DC used. No options left, and just like that, Poe and Fixel have won 2 tournaments back to back without dropping a single game.
That was tough. That was really difficult for Heavy and Itami, but congratulations to Poe and Fixel because that is definitely a feat to take. I want to look at that first stock again from the last game too. It was a very small interaction, but I think one of the most important hallmarks of any fighting game, of any platform fighting game, especially in a 2 setting, is you have to know when it's your turn to actually go in. And Poe, he recognized the situation perfectly. I forgot who it was. It might have been Itami that was hitting his teammate Fixel, but he was right there behind him. A lot of players in that same position, you know what they would do with Cannon? They would sidelight and then they would not end up hitting anybody because the enemy would just end up spot dodging through it. He waited. He knew that it wasn't his turn, and so he waited and he saw the defensive option, and then he knew that he was actually able to go in. It's a very small note that I am making here, but knowing when it's red light, knowing when it's green light is so important so that you don't just end up whiffing in somebody's face. He knew that he couldn't punish, he knew that he couldn't counter hit on time, so all he did was he got close and he waited. So this is something that everybody has to really keep in mind. Whenever you're watching back your own gameplay replays, you have to look at, hey, wait a second, did I go in when it wasn't my turn? Did I whiff punish something when it wasn't my turn?
Yeah, and I gotta address the elephant in the room. Poe and Fixel. I don't know about Fixel. I definitely know Poe will watch us back. Poe definitely watches back the streams. Please go to BCX. Please go to BCX. I need you guys at BCX. We said this before. Like, there's basically no MENA top players that are going to BCX for some reason, especially none of the teams. It's like, I want to see how these guys perform against some of the other regions.
You guys made some money today. You're gonna use that money, hopefully, to be able to fund that trip. But guys, congratulations to Fixel, congratulations to Poe once again. And I think they're making a little bit of Brawlhalla history at the moment. That is 2 consecutive tournaments without a single game dropped. So I don't really know when was the last time that happened in Brawlhalla. Maybe somebody else will be able to let us know. But they're making history over here. They're making history here in the Middle East region. Fixel and Poe, they're showing that they're a cut above the rest. There is a bit of a gap. There is a bit of a gap happening in the 2 sense. I don't actually have the privilege to cast a lot of 2s, especially for the Middle East region. So I can say this is one of the first times that I got to see Poe and Fixel really go at it. I got to see them go in singles, but again, amazing stuff to them. They played phenomenal.
With that being said, though, guys, we have more Brawlhalla for you, but not today. We're gonna be kicking things off tomorrow with the European side of things, and then followed by the South American side of things. North America on the Sunday, of course. All of that good information you can find at brawlhalla.com/schedule, where you get to see all of the stream times translated to your local time zone. With that being said, congratulations to Poe and Fixel. I've had an amazing time casting. Once again, one of my favorite regions in this game. I've been joined by Dara. Dara, do you have anything to say before we kick things off and we head on out of here?
Yeah, nothing, guys. We're just gonna be out of here. Everybody, thank you so much for being here, and we will see you tomorrow for Europe and for South America. Goodbye, and have a good rest of your day.
Moving into it, Poe. Already we're seeing
And Tommy, he gets the dodge, but Fixel took him out.
Oh, this could be massive. Poe, go for the full commitment. Heavy, no options. They're about to find an arcing. Both Taher and Fox Peter right now. They get run open and they turn into so next Taher.
But the GC side, there it is again. Fox, but he got both team members stacked. He's gonna be going off stage to the toss, and then the spike.
Massive hit from everyone here. Let's see what happens. We're seeing already a bit of a
Oh, they
combo
found them stacked.
Oh my combo, that's no bad. See, already went so dude. What is that? Comes out. So far away. The weapon with the ECUs. No options left, and just like that, Poe and Pixel have won 2 tournaments back to back without dropping a single game.
Hello. All right. Looks like it's over, so I'm going to end this stream. And yeah, there will be another Brawlhalla stream tomorrow. And yeah, now I'm ending this stream, and I'm going to be doing my own gameplay stream in about an hour or so. Yeah. So it's yeah. Stay tuned. I'll be back in about an hour for my regular gameplay stream. So yeah, I will see you all in a bit. Thanks everyone for watching. See you in a bit. Thanks everyone, and bye.